around the axis the focus is, also known as the focal length. The shorter the focal length, the stronger the magnification. If you graph this angle as a function of distance to the optical axis, you'll see that it can be approximated as linear. The problem is that the magnetic field doesn't scale linearly. It's much stronger near the edges of the magnet.
Along with
So if you plot the curve for the actual deflection of the electrons, you'll see that the magnetic field over-deflects the electrons further out. Their angles are bigger than they should be, so they end up focusing before the rays in the middle. And as a result, the focus is spread across the optical axis instead of being contained in a single point. The blur starts out around the edges of the image, but it gets worse the higher the magnification. This is called spherical aberration, and it distorts every radially symmetric magnetic lens. In fact, it doesn't just affect magnetic lenses. Every spherical lens, from a camera to a telescope to a magnifying glass, also suffers from it. But there is a surprisingly simple way to minimize spherical aberration. Just add a second lens, one that diverges light instead of converging it. Now, a diverging lens also suffers from spherical aberration, but if it has the same amount of aberration as your converging lens, just in reverse, you can stack the two to essentially cancel out their effects, and that removes the aberrations almost entirely. Almost all modern lens systems in cameras and microscopes use some sort of correcting divergent lens. So you might imagine that the TEM simply needs its own version of a diverging spherical lens to magnify further. But with magnets, this is physically impossible. Every magnet has two poles, a north and a south. It's impossible to just have one. Even if you split a magnet down the middle, it creates two smaller magnets, both with a north and a south. And all magnetic field lines have to start at one pole and end at the other, forming a closed loop.
Is a direct result of the second Maxwell equation, because the field that you create has field lines that start and end at the same magnet. So the electrons will always cross through two lines. The first time it passes through by the Lorentz force, it's brought into the spiraling motion, and then the second time, from that spiraling motion, which has then a slightly different direction, it's pushed towards the axis. That's why all electromagnetic lenses by default will converge the beam and never diverge it.
Even if you shot electrons in from the other side of the lens, they would still get focused. This is what Otto Scherzer's paper proved in 1936, stopping progress on the TEM. It is impossible to produce a radially symmetric magnetic lens that diverges.
And this was, of course, a big roadblock for the development of electron microscopy, because people saw, okay, we can accelerate electrons as much as we want. The presence of the spherical aberration will always be in the way.
Because of this roadblock, advancements in the microscope's resolution slowed significantly. By 1955, another microscope beat the TEM to the punch and took the first generally accepted image of atoms. This was called the field ion microscope, and it worked by shooting helium or neon atoms at an atomically sharp needle tip. The tip was positively charged, so when the gas atoms hit the needle, they got ionized and were ejected off perpendicular to the surface. And that could form an impression of the atomic structure of the tip. But this method was limited. You could only get a sense of the atomic structure of the very tip of the needle, and the images weren't all that impressive. Luckily, Ruska's electron microscope wouldn't stay stuck in the realm of insects and bacteria forever.
Albion Online is a sandbox MMORPG in which you write your own story instead of following a laid-out path. Explore a vast open world.
Now, you might not be an insect getting bombarded with relativistic electrons,
I can only see the ones on
it can
YouTube,
sometimes
by the way.
feel like it when you're getting
can't see
bombarded
the
with
ones
spam calls and
Twitch. I
targeted
haven't done
ads.
anything
It's a real
to
problem when we're
correct
researching
that
for
either.
our videos. I was reading up on
hello.
lenses and optics, and a few days later, I started getting targeted ads for glasses and eye surgery. So someone out there is probably selling my browsing data. But this is where today's sponsor, Incogni, comes in. With your permission, Incogni will fight the data brokers on your behalf by finding out who has your data, which laws apply, and then they request, with the appropriate legal language, your information be deleted. You just sign up and they'll give you a list of all the companies that have your information, how severe each claim is, and the status of all your requests. Now, I signed up last April, and since then they've filed 317 requests for me, 281 of which have been completed, saving me over 210 hours of work. And now I'm no longer getting ads for glasses I don't need. So to try Incogni and fight against the data brokers, visit incogni.com/Veritasium. You can also click the link in the description or scan this QR code. Make sure to use code Veritasium to get 60% off your annual subscription to take control of your data today. That's incogni.com/Veritasium. And now back to the electron microscope. Despite Scherzer's aberration limit, work on the transmission electron microscope continued. During the next 4 decades, people tried boosting the resolution with clever workarounds, and perhaps none more so than British-American physicist Albert Crew. His idea was to replace the tungsten filament, which fired off electrons at random, with a more directed source. So instead of boiling electrons off the surface, he tried pulling them off with a stronger electric field. And by sharpening the tungsten into a fine tip, he was able to create a narrow beam which was over 1,000 times brighter than before. He paired his new narrow beam with an unlikely technology: the cathode ray tube TV. These TVs worked by scanning an electron beam across a screen. The screen was coated in a phosphor that produced light when hit by electrons. And by varying the intensity of the electron beam, you could vary the brightness of the screen, giving you a black and white image. Crew was inspired to design a similar electron beam for the TEM that would scan across the nanoscopic sample. So instead of creating an imprint of the whole sample at once, Crew's electron beam made smaller imprints, mapping the sample out bit by bit. This wasn't the first time someone had tried to make a scanning version of the TEM. German researcher Manfred von Ardon built an early prototype in the 1930s. But it was destroyed during World War II.
Damn.
When Crew revived Ardon's design, he made several drastic improvements, and by 1970, he had this: the first image of single atoms taken with the electron microscope. Researchers quickly jumped to employ his tech, producing countless images of atoms. After nearly a century of improvements from Ruska, Crew, and many others, the magnification upgrades on the TEM had reached their peak. But Scherzer's problem persisted. Spherical aberrations set a hard limit on how small you could see. Even Crew himself gave up on trying to get around it after over 10 years of work. Unfortunately, we could never make it work. After many heartbreaking attempts, we were forced to admit defeat. Around this time, other microscopes emerged that could also image atoms. These probe microscopes work by gliding an incredibly small stylus across the sample. The stylus detects variations in quantum effects or nanoscale forces to then map the surface structure of the sample. These were easier to build, and because they didn't use any lenses, they weren't limited by spherical aberration. Their images were even 3D. But the looming issue was that these probes weren't really seeing atoms. It was more like feeling atoms. Throughout the 80s and 90s, this was all we had. But what if there was another way? Scherzer's theorem proved that a diverging radially symmetric lens isn't possible. But if you're willing to give up on that symmetry, well, the theorem no longer applies. The problem is that radial symmetry is arguably the most important property of any lens, because if you break the symmetry, you also break the image. But 3 maverick scientists thought there might be a way. Knut Urban, Max Hayter, and Harold Rose were known in the electron microscope community as troublemakers. And for years, barely anyone had been interested in their research. Or more importantly, in funding it. And for a good reason, too. Their idea was kind of crazy. I mean, they purposely wanted to break the image using a lens that wasn't symmetric. Their hope was that there would be a small part of this distorted image that would be slightly divergent. And maybe, just maybe, this small part could correct the spherical aberration of the original lens. So they got to work. To distort the image, they used a massive nest of electromagnets with 6, 8, or even 10 separate coils and magnets with bumpy magnetic fields. These were known as the hexapole, octapole, and decapole magnets. So, as the electron beam passed through a hexapole, it would twist and squeeze the flat 2D image into a triangular saddle, and the circumference of the original beam would be pushed into the 3 corners, with the rest of the interior stretched out. But now, the middle of the image would have a slight concave bow, giving the effect of a small divergence. Then, Rose, Haider, and Urban forced the beam through a second hexapole, one that worked the opposite way, so it would unbend the distorted image back into a circular shape. But now they calculated this new image might have the remnants of that tiny divergence still in its center, with spherical aberration pointing in the opposite way. So if they got their maths and engineering exactly right, they could feed an image with spherical aberration through these 2 lenses to almost completely counteract the effect.
And I imagine a lot of people in the field thought it was a crazy idea when it was proposed, right?
Not only the concept, but that this is like technically feasible, I believe. It was thought that this is not possible.
By May 1997, the group had just 2 months of development time left before their last sponsor withdrew their backing. And to make matters worse, their latest lens iteration was still just on the drawing board.
Always.
But somehow, by the 23rd of July, just a week before their funding ran out, the new lens was ready to test. They gingerly placed it into the microscope, but like every time before it, the lens was unstable and failed. So they decided to switch off the equipment for 24 hours to allow the magnets to settle. And then at 2 a.m. on the 24th, they turned it on again. And almost magically, the picture started to stabilize.
Nice.
Suddenly, there was no aberration. Only beautiful, clear images of atoms. After more than 60 years of failed attempts, Urban, Rose, and Haider pulled off the seemingly impossible. With this method, they cut the resolution of the TEM down to only 0.13 nanometers.
Damn!
An average TEM image went from looking like this to this.
Okay, that's...
A few months after the group's breakthrough, Newt Urban attended a microscopy conference to share these results. But because of the group's reputation, he was relegated to a small back room that barely anyone noticed. Soon, however, word spread that against all odds, his pictures seemed real. Then a crowd of hundreds formed. People were lining up outside, hoping to get a glimpse of their stunningly sharp images.
We have something cool here. What you're looking at is the new Speediance foam gym. This one's called the Gym Monster 2. And you
where we take zooming in for granted.
It actually ships to you, basically assembled. A huge bonus for fitness equipment in general. They can be a real nuisance to build. This thing folds up, it takes up barely any space.
Yeah, how
and
much
you
is
can get
that?
up to 200 pounds of resistance using magnets. I should just go ahead and drop this deck right now. Single button. Drops down, and this is going to be the central point for your variety of movements. And if you do want to do a bench press or something, this is where your bench is going to live. You simply lock these guys into place. It's kind of wild because you think about 200 pounds of weight, and it is different. This is resistance. It's not free weights. It does feel a little bit different. The amount of space you would need for 200 pounds of weights, if they were dumbbells or something, it's all in here. This is all magnetic resistance housed down here. And then the other unique part is through this huge display, there's a variety of exercises that you can do on this unit, which allows you to get obviously a full body workout.
Where's that bench at?
Free lifts, which in here there's a variety of different dynamic weight options, standard chain, eccentric, and fixed speed, and they all feel way different, and they could all be used for different types of training. You also have partner mode if there's 2 people working together.
Okay.
So we're gonna get a sample holder.
Yes, now we get a sample holder out. We put that under the optical microscope. So the sample itself is a small lamella that you can't see without the optical microscope. Yeah, have a look through that.
Beautiful. On top of the B, there's a prong.
Yeah. And on the very top of that, on the left-hand side, looks like a little bit of dust. That's our actual sample. Okay, now I simply go up with the magnification and I do a very few, like more basic alignments. In this electron microscope, because it's called transmission electron microscope, the electrons always transmit the sample. Here we look through our entire sample at the same time. And that's why it's so important that we align the sample. If you imagine atoms in a high symmetry direction are lined up like pearls on a string, when we look down it, well, we can see an image. But if we're in like some random direction, then everything would be just blurred. So that's why we have to do some tilting in the edge. And this is where the actual sample starts, the strontium titanate. And this is the thin region where we hope to get atomic resolution.
So this is 5,000 times?
Yes.
Wow.
And we see strontium, titanium, we see oxygen, we see carbon. That's contamination, so most likely what we're looking at here is carbon contamination.
When you do this focus, what are you really looking for?
I look for this edge to become sharp. See atoms.
What? Just like that. That's wild. Shortly after the group successfully corrected the aberrations in the TEM, Andrei Krivanik independently achieved the same for Kru's version of the microscope, the scanning TEM. And in 2020, all four were awarded the prestigious Kavli Prize in Nanoscience for accomplishing what so many others thought impossible. Through their persistence and ingenuity, seeing atoms like this is, well, normal.
How big of a difference does aberration correction make?
If you want to see atoms, and if you want to, for example, measure interatomic distances, and if you want to learn what type of atoms you have, you need aberration correction. Any research that's materials science, materials engineering, chemical engineering, you need to see what's happening at the atomic level because you want to relate the properties to the structure. If you can't see the structure at the atomic level, you only have half of the information. So that was a game changer. That's why nowadays every university in principle needs a microscope like that.
I don't really feel like playing a game right now, so...
Ready to win big with Zinn? In the Win with Zinn sweepstakes, you can win $100,000 or one of 5,000 premium prizes. How would you spend $100,000? Enter now and you can find out. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Over the past 3 years, I've made knives out of everything from obsidian to meteorite. These materials were never intended to be used like this, but with a 60,000 psi water jet, you can do things that otherwise wouldn't be possible. Each of them had a unique result that I'm sure you'll enjoy. Let's get started with the obsidian knife.
A few years ago, we made the world's sharpest knife out of obsidian, which is basically nature's glass and can be sharpened up to 500 times sharper than steel. We're going to remake an obsidian blade on our water jet and compare it to a scalpel underneath a microscope and see how their cut qualities stack up against each other. So we have this big chunk of obsidian here. I'm thinking the best plan is to cut right along here and get a chunk off, and then we can cut at another angle to get the shape of a knife blade. Does that sound good, Nate? So in the first video they tried sharpening it and it didn't really work because it's obsidian. So we brought someone in that knows a thing or two about making knives. This is, oh hey Nate, how's it going?
Doing good.
All right, glad to have you here.
Looking forward to seeing what we're gonna do with this.
So we're gonna do this first cut and then cut it at an angle to make it sharp. Alright, that's looking good. We've got a nice face there. So we're also going to cut off a piece about 1/4 inch thick so Nate can give a go at napping it.
I'm not an expert. Napping is the process that, historically is used to sharpen obsidian, where you flake off little bits of it at a time and leave behind that, mythically sharp razor edge to it. I'm not good at it, but I want to try it anyway, so we're going to cut a piece for that.
Worth a shot. I must say, the pattern on this obsidian is exquisite. This is going to be a beautiful knife blade. So this is 5-axis, but it's easier to just put something under the board and angle it that way. So
It's also not calibrated.
yep. Okay, we've got a chunk. We're going to cut a knife shape into it and then cut it at an angle. In the meantime, Nate was sharpening a piece of obsidian.
There's a knife grinder, and I was seeing if you can grind obsidian. Now, obsidian is basically a piece of glass, and it's not meant for that. It's meant for metal. But I was surprised. It actually does grind the obsidian.
That right there, that shiny side there, I ground that in. But in the process of doing that, it also chipped. Like, none of these little chip marks were in the obsidian when I started. So it was able to grind it, but it also started tearing chunks out of the edge, which is not great for making a nice sharp blade.
That's looking good. How annoying would a 1/4-inch tang be?
I mean, not much more annoying than a sharpened tang.
So here's our jerry-rigged setup here. Water jet straight, blades at an angle, should give us the right cut. This piece looks pretty good, the main part. So I think we're in business if we just rotate it and do the same thing on the other side. Okay, big reveal. That is pretty.
The amount of light you can see through the blade, that's really fun. It's the traditional native way of making obsidian blades right here.
Yes.
I think the Mayans pioneered this technique. Yeah, they mastered the water jet for sure.
They would blow really hard through bamboo shoots.
Oh wow, look at that.
Yeah. It's like a tiger.
You can even see the serrations on it. Which we did on purpose.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Definitely wanted serrated knife.
Yep. How does it feel? How sharp?
It feels kind of sharp, but I don't think it has like that legendary obsidian, molecules thick blade that we're talking about. You're cutting it with water and garnet, which is like microchipping it, but it's not gonna microchip it the same way as if you napped it and flaked off the blade, but
Yes.
I understood all of that. It's quite a spine. That is some of the best patterned obsidian I've ever seen.
Well,
we made the state of Kentucky.
kind of sharp.
You can see a little bit how quick that process is. Clearly grinding right through that. Blazing speeds. Just like butter. If butter were made of glass.
My favorite kind of butter. So this is the knife with the naked eye. This is all the way zoomed out on the microscope, and that's all the way zoomed in. And this is an unsettlingly intimate view of my finger. This is the blade of the scalpel. I'm not sure who Stanley is. This is the edge of the obsidian knife. So you can see how it's basically serrated. Here's the edge of the super thin one. You can see through it. This is the blade. What is that? A little tiny shard. That's a nice sized one. So I think if we were to nap, that would be what the edge would look like under a microscope. I could be wrong. I'm sure there's images on the internet of napped obsidian under a microscope. Now this is the surface of the cucumber. I don't know what we're learning from this. The idea was to learn that the cut was really good, but instead what we're learning is what they look like under a microscope. Ooh, that's gross.
Scare!
Okay, time for the test. Here's the obsidian blade. I got the classic tomato test and a cucumber and a weird looking cheese stick. Oh, look at that. That's like butter. See how thin of a slice we can get.
Excuse me.
And your knife is 1/4 of an inch thick. That's not bad. I have seen worse tomato slicing with more expensive knives.
Now he's gonna contract with Subway. Slice their tomatoes for him. Sell them obsidian knives.
This works so much better than I thought it would.
Here's a test with this small straight edge. Ooh. That's tiny.
I actually really enjoy it. You can see just a little bit of the tomato through the knife before you start cutting.
Wow. You could shave with this.
No.
Okay, the real test is this guy.
Ooh. That's like a saw. But it's a saw that gets through a tomato.
Heck yeah. We're splitting these tomatoes. Okay, cucumber test. Okay, see if we can get it thin.
Oh yeah.
Look at that. That's like basically see-through. Just like the knife try with the barbershop razor. Just in case you're impoverished.
Scalpel.
Just glides through there. I see why they use these.
For all those surgery on cucumbers they do.
Yeah, on grapes. Very conclusive results.
Oh no, I think you might have had better with the obsidian.
I think so. Alright, that's ready for a handle. You think you can throw it on here, Nate?
Heck yeah.
Alright.
Come check that out on my channel, Nate from the internet.
Alright. See you around, Nate.
Obsidian is a bit of a stubborn material, so what if we use something that has actual metal? This meteorite knife is one of my favorites. Not only did it turn out really well, but it actually cuts well.
Holy shit, this is the napping. Right? Is it they call it napping? Really? This is so cool.
Mommy, who is that?
I don't know. How'd she get here? Today's the day, Ramona. Today's the day.
I built a floating office pod in my garage so I could get a little work-life balance, or at least I thought I would. It ended up being months of me tackling things I had no experience with. But the real question is, after failing to make a usable office pod in a previous video, will this one actually work for me? I don't want another permanent built-in ornament in my house. And it has to work, because I'll be revealing it to my DIY YouTube rival to see what he thinks.
Why does this have to happen?
Time was tight, so I started out the gate at 100 miles per hour, cutting the straightest line I've ever cut in my life. You may be thinking, you're just doing this video because your last office pod got 16 million views. I would never just do it for the views. I'm doing it for a couple other reasons, and that.
Do I just need to go slam a JAML mode? Do I need to go into my alpha alter ego?
Let's be real, I don't need an office pod hanging off the wall in my garage, but do I want it? Oh yeah.
Yeah! Let's get some boots on. Never bring flip-flops to a fight.
But do I have a practical purpose in making this thing? Focus. Although I'm starting to question whether this was a good idea.
What have I done? This wall's just been sitting there for 7 years since I moved in. I had to do something about it.
This cotton candy made my throat itch, but it's all for a purpose. Sure, not working in a house with 3 little kids will help me get more done, but my real goal is focus when I'm not working. Lately, I've been thinking about work non-stop during family time, so I'm hoping that moving my office to the garage will help me have a little separation so I can be fully locked in when I'm with my family.
I might have just burned this thing out instantly. I was pushing a little too hard. Let's see if it works now.
If I wanted things to be separated, it had to be in the garage, but floor space in the garage is at a premium, and I don't have any to spare. So the only natural alternative is to put it on the ceiling, of course.
Is this something people do?
Anybody can build a tiny office. The question is, will I actually want to sit in this thing for more than a day? Or is it about to become a very expensive garage ornament? After all, I spent a day in my last office pod under the stairs and had neck pain for 3 and never went back to it. I don't want another relic in my home. To answer the question of whether it'll work as my office, at the end of this build, I'm going to spend a full 8-hour workday in what I'm calling the Cloud Pod. So basically, I'm going to have a normal workday, but using this tiny office. What do you want me to do? Fill it with dead Legos and bouncy balls to see if I get claustrophobic? Not again.
Get me out of here!
Well, my in-laws came to town and are staying in my guest room office, so there's no better time to get started on this thing. Let's go. I'm currently making the legs for the office, which will hopefully be invisible, and I'd be lying if I told you I had total confidence in these things holding me up.
Alright, my well started off not so delicious. These are the ones I started with. Pretty bad. This is what I'm working with right now. I'm pretty pleased with that. I'll take it. I'll take it. Let's try this again. I gotta grind this weld off because I was supposed to put a shim in there. And I know that my kids are gonna watch this in the future. So I can't let them see me taking shortcuts. I thought about it, but I'm not gonna do it.
My father assured me that 4-inch steel would be plenty to hold me up.
Yeah, doggy! Woo!
And I have no reason not to trust him. After all, he did design roller coasters at Disney for 25 years. But this is a little more complex than your little fun and game roller coasters, Dad. Okay, maybe not. But that thing's gonna be holding precious cargo. Me. Luckily, I'll be able to test it in a minute without having to wait for the thing to be fully built.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. That's pretty good looking well.
I went through quite a lot of ideas for how I was going to support this pod safely.
Okay, let's see how this fits. Oh yeah. Oh, that's pretty perfect.
Progressive Commercial Insurance offers affordable small business protection. You can receive discounts on commercial auto insurance.
Little thing there. Okay.
In fact, I went through about 10 iterations trying to figure out a way that was going to look awesome, be safe, and not be too expensive. I don't want to see the legs. I feel like that's just going to ruin the magic. After all, it's supposed to be a floating office pod. So I spoke to structural engineers who suggested anchoring it with pylons, which was going to cost well over $10,000 and take 3 months. And I genuinely considered that. But then I remembered, oh yeah, I don't have $10,000 or 3 months. So I knew I had to get creative.
Well, that went well. Little wobbly. That's okay. Time for the strength test.
Let's find out if these things are strong enough to hold me up. Alright, well, that's good news. Looks like these will do fine.
I did it. I did it wrong. Why? Of course. Come on. Why does this have to happen?
Put the legs on the wrong side.
I thought it was all going so well. Right, this one's right in the middle of the stud. I'm gonna be sitting here grinding forever.
Sucks! God, that sucks!
The hidden feature of these legs is that they'll be built fully into the wall, so that hopefully you won't be able to see them at all. But with the way I built it, they were not fitting in the wall.
Ain't budging. I bought a beefy Sawzall. We're gonna see if this works.
It would be a major inconvenience if I had to scrap these legs and restart, but it's looking like that might happen because I'm having a heck of a time getting these things apart.
You need torch,
I must
buddy.
be a pretty dang good welder. I'm gonna take that as a win. Call it a night and think on it until morning.
You take a torch to it?
Yes. My nemesis. Let's get to work.
Between not having the right tools and my
How you got
expert
welder, you don't
welding,
got
this set
torch,
me back
buddy?
a full day. These are cantilevered legs. I got the inspiration from my dining chairs.
Daddy gonna go beast mode on it.
Yeah, baby. Woo! Man alive, that was hard.
Toward the end of this build, I'm revealing it to my DIY YouTube rival to get his reaction. He's actually a good buddy of mine. He built some incredible projects that get millions of views, and a while back he made a raised office pod in his shop. We thought it was a funny coincidence that we had similar ideas, which actually turned out pretty different in the end, but we thought it'd be fun to react to each other's builds on our videos. I reacted to his build a few months ago on his channel, so now it's his turn. I've also got a little challenge for him that's going to put him to work, so hopefully he accepts.
Oh, that's heavy. Bro, what if it breaks? Don't you want to test it out?
I am testing it.
That snaps, bro. That
was my test.
Looks like these legs are going to work fine. Hopefully they'll fit in the wall, and I won't have to make any more changes.
Just gotta do it quickly. Let's see if it fits. The moment of truth. What's in the way? Oh, I forgot. The bolt.
Let's just pretend like that's not important.
No wobble. Just looking at it, it should probably be fine. We gotta level it out. So first obstacle, I just hit my head on this so hard. I'm not sure actually you can see it. It's like red right there. That's the perks of having a bald head. I actually hit my head on my miter saw first, and literally 5 seconds later, I went under here to grab something, and I whacked my head on this.
Metal does not give.
My wife came out and was like, "Are you okay?" Because she heard, "Oh, I'm good. I'm good."
Step one of making these legs disappear is complete. My next step is covering it with drywall, which might be tricky.
So I hit my head again on the frame.
All right, it's time to call my buddy, the DIY YouTuber, Morley Kurt. Here's a quick montage of his channel beforehand.
Yeah, I watched that guy. They make those now. Those sleeping suitcases.
Hey!
Howdy.
How's it going, man?
It's good. Getting the new space rocking.
Oh, heck yeah. I thought I'd set up a little challenge for you to win something.
Oh.
So I thought that if you can think of a good idea for some steps, and I end up using it and liking it, then you get a permanent bobblehead in my tiny office of you.
Ooh.
The 3 criteria are this. It can't be too time consuming. It can't be too costly.
I like how vague these are.
Yeah. It can't take too long for me to get in.
Yeah.
And it can't be too gigantic in my garage. After all, this is a 3-car garage. Challenge accepted?
Yeah.
3-car
All right,
I'm excited to see what you got.
Yeah, I will start thinking.
My buddy Jacob helped me out by doing all the cuts on the lumber for this build, and there were a lot.
Hell yeah.
I really wanted to be
It's a
careful
solid
with this wall. I
friend.
want Kelly to know that. All that drywall you see is just the interior wall to our hallway, and swinging a hammer at it, not the best way to avoid trouble. I would really like to avoid having to work on things other than this project.
It's B9. This one kind of doesn't matter. Like, it's
Really anxious to find out if all Jacob's cuts are accurate.
Oh yeah, baby. Woo! Ow! That fits nice. Good job, Jacob.
He cut almost every piece of wood for this thing, and figuring out how to fix a bunch of messed up pieces would kind of be a headache. After all, there was a total of 93 pieces that I gave to him, so lots of room for error. I made it work. I'll let that one slide.
My wife's probably going crazy right now. I'm like beating on the house like it's a drum.
I don't know how many more of these built-in projects I'm going to do on my channel, but I'm calling it. I think I'd be able to take this whole thing down and patch it up in about 3 days. What do you think? I'm super curious though. Do you have any crazy ideas where you could put a tiny office in your home that I can steal? Would love to see everybody's imaginations run wild.
My wife is gonna hate me. I'm sorry, Kelly. Don't think I don't recognize the sacrifices you make for this channel, Kelly. I mean, I gotta pay the bills somehow, but I appreciate you sacrificing. You to pay.
Let's gloss over most of the electrical I'm doing. You should probably not copy any of this.
So I might have hit the wall a little bit too hard. This is inside the house.
But we're only about 10% of the way through. You know what, let's play a little game to make this interesting. If all the cuts are accurate, he gets a $50 Home Depot gift card. So basically, I lose no matter what. Lately, I've been feeling a bit distracted after work.
Woo! Alright.
always working in my head, thinking about the current project I'm on. I love what I do. Honestly, I can't imagine a better job. But I don't want the craziness of it getting in the way of quality time with my family. I'm hoping that if my office is a little more separated and not in the house, I can keep a healthier balance. At the end of the day, my family's more important to me, and I don't want work getting in the way of it. Real quick, I've made it my job to do this for a living. Does that make sense? And I do more than making tiny boxes in weird places. In fact, in my next video, I'm going to be making a desk that just might break your mind and give you a bit of childhood nostalgia while having the most satisfying organizational method out there, so subscribe so you don't miss it. Speaking of getting in the way of work, I don't want stairs on this thing that are going to get in the way of working in my workshop. Like the legs, I've gone through a bunch of ideas for how I'm going to get in this office. Full on stairs? No, takes up too much space in my shop and ruins the vibe.
Why do we browse like this? Hunting, clicking, searching. What if we could just say,
Ask for forgiveness, not permission.
Then I had the idea to use some sort of compressed air, too loud and potentially dangerous.
Load-bearing wall? I don't care. Bear this load!
Electric motors like on a standing desk? Unless I was going to spend thousands of dollars, it would take over a minute to get in. That sounds pretty impractical. And again, anybody can make a tiny office. The main goal for this project is to make one that I'll actually use. That's way more of a challenge. I'm really hoping Morley gives me something good. Maybe I should have had a plan before starting this thing. Whatever the case, my test at the end is going to be practical. I'll be getting in and out of it like I normally would for my workday, so if I don't like it, I'll let you know.
Again, I'm sorry, Kelly. I'm really sorry. She's got a good attitude.
I was very purposeful in not using wood glue on this project because that would have been foolish. That way, if I ever need to take this thing down, I don't have to do it with a sledgehammer.
If I hit less times and I hit harder, they don't have to listen to it for as long.
Since the studs were different from what I originally anticipated, I did have to make some changes to some of the cuts, but those were not Jacob's fault. So far, so good. And you may be wondering, why did you get your friend to cut the wood for you? Fair question. My answer? No more questions, please. No, my last project took 4 months. That's my answer. And look what I'm doing here. Can't you tell I need help?
It's gonna be just fine. Trust me, it's gonna be just fine.
Let me just insecurely assure you that the metal frame below is doing all the heavy lifting here. All this framing's just making sure it doesn't fall forward. I'm hoping. After all, my biceps are thicker than the metal legs holding it up, and that's saying something.
That'll do.
Like always, I'm going to be incorporating lighting into this project, but as always, the lighting didn't go exactly according to plan. With these pieces of wood, I'm going to be recessing a groove for some LED strips. The lights on this project will be a lot bluer to fit the modern industrial vibe of my garage. Oh yeah, have I told you about that yet? I'm planning on making this thing look like a shipping container, which I think will look really cool, but we're just going to have to wait and find out.
The felt on the bottom, that's nice.
A little too late for that, since this frame already scratched my floors all over the place.
Oh wow, that's really...
Real quick, I just want to give a big thank you to Bamboo Lab for sponsoring this video.
Plug and play, baby.
A little bit later, I had the honor of helping to unveil their latest tool, which, when I got it, was not released to the public. That was kind of cool. Felt like I had an early VIP screening to a big Hollywood movie. I'll be doing the big unveiling to that a little later. They tasked me with using it to make something, so I'm finally building an invention I've wanted to create for a long time. If it works, it could be a real game changer for woodworkers.
Yeah, alright. That's one.
Needless to say, the deck on this thing is going to be solid. I used self-tapping screws to attach the wood to the steel. Only problem is, these screws are meant for sheet metal, not 1/8" steel. So I had to resort to drilling each hole in the steel, and between my skinny arms and dull drill bits, it was a dance to remember.
It was a dance to
I'm not
remember.
much of a metal worker. The chop saw and welder were already out of my comfort zone. But the more I get the little things right here and there, the more confident I am in working with it.
There you go.
Okay. Why did I respond like that?
And then there's situations like that remind me of my skill level. I've never used metal lubricant before. In fact, I bought it for this very purpose, and who would have thunk it? It made a big difference.
Just a lot.
I'm looking forward to having some separation from what's going on inside the house, not for my sake, but for my family's. My boys are too young to have any concept of time. Yesterday I walked through the house 5 minutes into my workday and my son asked, "Daddy, are you done working?" This way I'm not constantly getting their hopes up walking through the house 20 times a day. Working from home has its challenges, but I love it. And at this point, I don't really dream of going out and getting a bigger shop. It's been great being right next to my family, and I think this might give me the best of both worlds.
I'd say that's good enough. I'll take it. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice.
I had an old box of Phillips head screws that I used for pretty much the entire project, and boy was that a mistake. I, like everybody else, grew up using them and still go for them sometimes on certain projects because they're generally cheaper, but for this project I should have just spent the extra few dollars and used Torx head bits. Phillips head screws need constant pressure as you drive them in, so when you're at weird angles like I was on this project, you have to extend your arms out and really push, because if you don't, bit's gonna slip and totally mess up the head of the bit. How do you know when you're doing that? You hear a lot of bolts in a blender sound like you can hear during some of this. I cut out most of it though so you don't have to listen to it. Torx head screws just stay on the bit and usually don't even need any pressure. They just pull themselves in. Well, Jacob, we're down to our last few pieces and it looks like you've done a pretty good job. Well done. You get the gift card.
Thanks, Joey.
Nice.
Wow, I cut way too much off. Dang it. I tried to fit this to this opening. What did I do? So far off. So now I gotta reroute.
My original plan was to have this pod directly on the ceiling, but since the studs threw me off, now it's sitting about 5 inches below. Well, I'm gonna take advantage of it, because I just had an idea.
Lights up there, make it glow. Boom, bright, yeah, ooh.
But before I do that, I notice a bit of a problem here. See, the work I do on this channel is kind of all over the place. I do woodworking, metalworking, and other random stuff that I don't really have the opportunity to build specialized skill. That means my framing didn't come together square. But it also means that I'm not quick remembering all the solutions with how to fix stuff like this.
That don't look right. I gotta fix that. Look at that.
I'm hoping I can fix this and it doesn't look like some sort of an optical illusion. And then I remembered, I don't need framing to be perfect. I can just use shims. And that I did. Correcting all these wonky curves is taking some major gymnastics. And this isn't like other projects that I can just throw away. It's stuck to my wall, so if I can't get this molding straight, I'll be dizzy and frustrated looking at it every day.
There's some major lumps right here that are causing some huge gaps in the molding. This thing's sticking out. So I'm gonna take a carving bit to it, naturally. We'll see how that goes.
I think having the office in here will be helpful for offloading footage. Every once in a while, at the end of my workday, I come inside to drop footage, and my wife and kids shout for joy, set off confetti poppers, and signal the mariachi band to get going, only for me to tell them I have 10 more minutes of work.
I cannot figure out what all of a sudden happened to my nail gun. Battery's good, it's not jammed. Can you comment down below to tell me what is the problem? Oh, I figured out the issue. I was trying to nail into metal.
Can I just say, though, that I've been loving my brad nailer. As someone who started DIY with more of an interest in fine woodworking, I used to be ashamed using a brad nailer. And yeah, well, it's not great for fine woodworking. It works great for things like this. My problem is thinking every project is fine woodworking, but when spackle and paint is involved, brad nails are amazing.
I put one on wrong again.
Alright, we're 125 shims and 648 brad nails enough to correct my wonky framing and straighten out this molding.
Alright, that's some pretty wonky edges, but they cleaned up real nice. Because I was referencing the 2x4s on my molding, but look at that. Got a lot of gap there to shim, but nice and flush. It's looking, woo! Just like, ooh!
Now the next question is, will I be able to successfully drywall over metal legs so that they disappear? Or is it going to look like I'm hiding a fat-legged dead body in my wall? I used 2 sheets of drywall for this project, and I don't know what happened. Maybe I didn't clean it up all the way, but I was cleaning a hazy white film off of my flooring for weeks. Now here's the problem with hiding these legs.
Is that being quiet?
The legs are 4 inches thick, and inside the wall is only 3 1/4 inches.
Sorry, Grandpa.
So I can't actually put any drywall on top of them without it sticking out 3/4 of an inch. That means that all I can do is put joint tape and plaster all over it. I've never seen anybody do that over metal, so I'm not really sure it's going to stick or not. I've only patched up drywall a few times in my life, and it turned out pretty good, but this is obviously a bit different. You might also be wondering, the feet are sticking out underneath it. That's not very subtle. Don't worry, I've got a plan. Well, an idea, I think. Morley and I have been friends for over a year now, but the thing is, we've never actually met in person. But we do talk a lot about YouTube, share ideas, and give each other feedback on our videos. He commented on one of my videos welcoming me to the DIY community, and I said, dude, I've been binging your videos lately, and basically it's been magical ever since. While I wait for that to dry, I'm gonna move on to other things.
The best tool to use to spread...
The reason we created these initial robots was to solve a pretty basic problem. Weeds.
Caulk is your finger, but in this case, this is my finger.
It's just my finger because I bought it. Let's try this thing out. Not great so far. Why did I buy this? I've already got 10 of them I could use, not to mention an assorted size of toes. Honestly, after all this, I'm convinced that my actual finger is the best tool. Shims and caulking, the two tools that can make anyone look like a professional molderer. There is no gap that this duo cannot defeat. This is kind of crazy, check this out. Got this from the store. 2 feet, 2 inches. I did not get this from the store, I made this. Not thinking about that. 2 feet, 2 inches. I got this to mimic the corrugated steel on shipping containers. It took me a while to figure out what I wanted the CloudPod to look like. At first when I made concept art, I gave it a tactical look. I shared it with my brother for feedback and he said, "Your garage isn't tactical, you know." Wow, well that couldn't have gone better. I was like, oh, you're right. And that's how I ended up on this. But I'm not so sure I'm gonna be able to make the corrugated plastic look believable. No promises, y'all. This stapler stinks. Well, I'm also trying to staple it through some hard stuff, so wouldn't staple. It's time to add the primer so the yellow paint will stick, and I should have done a couple more coats because the fact that the green is so opposite of yellow causes some problems in a bit. Alright, the leg wall's dry, and it's time for me to add spray texture. I'm not really sure of the purpose of this stuff, but my guess is that it exists for this very purpose, hiding things. Well, that looks pretty good. That drywall texture made a big difference. Next step is black paint, and hopefully that seals the deal. But while that dries, I'm bringing this banana to life. I chose black paint for the CloudPod because when I had the idea to paint it yellow, I said the same thing my cousin said to his now wife about her dress on their first date. That's a lot of yellow. But I really want to make it stand out and pop, so we're going with yellow. But don't worry, I have a plan to remove some of it in my shop. I just stepped back and looked at this, and I was like, dang, that looks sick. It looks like it's hanging off the wall. Those legs are really hidden, and I cannot wait to get that thing painted black and see how it all looks. What's enamel? Should I not be mixing enamel with this? What's enamel?
According to Wikipedia, a mammal is a vertebrate animal of the class Mammalia. Mammals are characterized by the presence of milk-producing mammary glands for feeding their young,
Milk.
a broad neocortex region of the brain.
Why am I painting this white? Because I should have listened to Matt, Team Edge's old set builder. He always said if you're trying to paint from dark to light, always put down a couple coats of white first. So instead of listen, I decided to put down a coat of white fourth to try to counteract some of that green. You may not be able to see, but you see the dark spots shining through? They're still coming through. All over. All in all, it took me about 6 coats when, if I had done it correctly, I probably could have gotten away with 3 or 4. To cover up the rough drywall edges, I used a little bit of leftover trim. Oh my goodness, what? Oh gosh. What is going on? No. Thick paint. Alright, we're gonna see in a second when we finish up all the paint if I was able to successfully hide these legs in the wall to sell the floating office illusion, and if I was able to pull off the paint job on the corrugated plastic to make it look like a shipping container. Drum roll please. Well, so far we've done it. The green on the plastic is not at all showing through, and I think it really looks like a tiny repurposed shipping container. And once we hide these feet somehow, the legs are really gonna disappear. As far as the drywall is concerned, it looks like it's always been there. What do you think? On a scale of 1 to 10, how well would that fool you? My personal opinion is that it looks good enough to have earned a like. But you do you, baby. I think I've probably pressed like on 3 YouTube videos in my life. 1 was my own and 2 were probably an accident. I was anxious to see if my planer and bandsaw fit under this thing, which is the whole reason I didn't put the CloudPod on the ground. These tools take up too much room and can't be put on the ceiling themselves. Once we get all the dust collection pipes figured out, we can test the fit on those and see how this thing will look long term. Honestly, just don't pay attention to him and he'll stop. He's just looking for attention. Well, with the finishing touches, these things slide right in and are a perfect fit. Beautiful. My buddy said he didn't think I could jump into this. So basically, I'll see you in a few weeks after my sprained ankle's healed up. Whoa! Ow! It actually did hurt my ankle. Ow! That hurt. And I didn't even land weird. That was just jumping. It's fine. What's up, John? Quick, 28.5 divided by 2. 14.25. Boom, beat ya. When I started putting in the lights and wall paneling, I realized I made a little bit of an oversight with the drywall. I even caught it on camera without noticing at the time. I'm guessing you didn't see it. But to cover this drywall, I went with acoustic panels. They're similar to the slat wall I used in my last tiny office, but way cheaper, thinner, and easier to install. The old ones had actual wood slats and were kind of a pain to put up. When I put the drywall in,
I forgot to cut out a hole for the outlet that is currently behind there. So that means I just gotta cut it out, I guess. Let's start poking around, yeah? But before I destroy this wall, I want to show you that tool I was talking about earlier that I got from Bamboo Lab. A couple years ago, they sent me their flagship X1 Carbon, which has been great, but the company's moved forward and just sent me their latest model, the H2S. What's great about this thing? It's humongous and actually has the largest build volume of any of their printers. That's going to come in handy when I show you my invention, but for now, I tested it out with a Gladiator helmet.
Damn.
Would you look at that. Okay, time to start stabbing this wall. I can stick that right in the outlet and shock myself. I better turn off the circuit. This is so ugly, don't look at this. Hopefully I can uncover this thing without doing too much damage. But it turns out I actually hammered it into the stud wrong. Because as it is right now, it's sitting fully flush with the drywall and it should be sticking out so that I can attach the outlet plate over the drywall. Whew. Working overhead is so tiring. I'm gonna have to do a bit of research to see if there's a solution to fix that outlet that doesn't require me to take off the acoustic paneling and the drywall. That would not be uber delicious. Yeah. Let's go, that looks beautiful. Whoa, it's so dead quiet in here, it's almost weird. Oh, that's creepy. I don't know if I'm gonna like that. Kind of felt like one of those acoustic rooms that are supposed to make you go crazy after 20 minutes. That might be a knock against usability. Grandpa's tool for the win. Let's see what we got, Gramps. Hey. After doing a bit of research, I found out that Home Depot sells junction box extensions for doofs like me. Who would have guessed it? How convenient is that? So now I just have to cut a hole in the panel smaller than my outlet plate and we're good. Crisis averted. It came time to finally install those ceiling lights and I learned a couple good lessons from this experience. One philosophical and one more practical. Kind of because I liked the way one turned out and didn't like the way the other turned out. This thing is weak. Okay, so that might not be fully true, because the practical lesson I feel like I still don't fully understand, but maybe you can clarify it for me. But it's to not use lighting to draw focus away from your main subject, which this light does, and I don't end up liking it. And the other more philosophical lesson I've known for a while, but I'm always pleasantly reminded of, is to take flaws and make them features. The Cloud Pod is sitting at about 5 inches lower than I originally anticipated, which could have been a flop, but adding some of these lights to the top of it, well, you'll just have to see for yourself.
Desert Diamonds celebrate all that you are and all that you're still becoming in natural colors that reflect all the shades of you.
Stock your lab. Explore our diverse portfolio of products from trusted brands. Quickly and confidently place and monitor orders. Source your research. View technical documentation, articles, and content relevant to your work. Equip your experiments. Check price and availability, collaborate with shared shopping lists, set up subscriptions, and connect with customer support. Supply your production. Seamless search and selection, detailed product information, and reliable order tracking. Elevate your science. It's easier than ever at SigmaAldrich.com, the ultimate online resource for your scientific needs. Go to SigmaAldrich.com and start exploring today.
Thanks, son. I actually really like that. I don't like this one. It's illuminating the tool. By the way, the bump cap, I've hit my head too many times, and Milwaukee makes this thing this bump cap that can slip in, look at that, slip in snapbacks like perfectly. And I love it. Well, my printers were sitting idle, calling for me to let them print something, so I thought I would get a jump on some of the organizational methods I'm planning on using. That way the printers and I can be working at the same time. I 3D printed a few organizer drawers that fit my exact needs. They have this little grid system on them that allows you to be hyper organized in any way you can imagine, so I 3D printed little SD card holders for them and was able to add my own text to the front of them. This way my cards can stay organized, and instead of walking through the house to drop footage, the SD cards never have to leave the garage. After that, I printed a little shipping container tissue box to fit the theme of the Cloud Pod and help me combat all the sawdust I snort in the garage. Here's a little sneak peek of when I install those prints later. While I'm putting in these lights, which I thought would be a shoo-in, but surprisingly I end up being on the fence about, I keep wondering what Morley's going to give me in a bit for how I should get into this pod. He's always got some wild idea I'd never think of, so I'm excited to see where he's going to go with this one. Alright, here we go. We're going to turn on the LED strips. There we go.
I'm chilly.
Not what I was expecting. I made it too custom. I did too good of a job. That's a joke. But I recessed the lights in a groove. And I think that's coming back to bite me. Because I can't see it as much as I would like to from an angle. Well, I tried to get a tiny yellow spot of paint off the ceiling, and what I never realized was that it was never painted. So I just wiped off the drywall texture and made it so much worse. And I don't know, I guess I'll just spray more texture.
Hey! Hey, what's up?
How'd it go? Did you think of anything for my tiny office?
I did. I think my ideas are kind of dumb, but they could be fun.
Okay.
The first one, I feel like one obvious solution is a trampoline. You'd have to really like yeet off of there to get up 3 feet. Being able to quickly get in and out, I feel like would be really nice.
That's the hope. That's the desire. I definitely can't walk around in this thing.
Yeah. Well then, in that case, you'll probably hate my second idea,
Okay.
which is, you know those stair lifts that like senior citizens use?
Yeah, like the ones that like slowly take you upstairs while you're sitting.
Yeah, I feel like the positioning is perfect for that, and it would look hilarious on camera.
Okay, I'm not gonna give you a spoiler on whether I'm gonna use these or not. Let me think about it.
Think about it. It's a really good idea.
Dang it, I did them wrong. Doesn't really matter. The wood's thick, but I still did it wrong. These should be on the other side. Oh, they can be. That was easy. Wow, that's strong.
Generally, for most of my builds, I make a lot of concept art. I find it's the best way to create things you end up liking in the end. It's a lot easier to draw a new picture than it is to build a new project. But for whatever reason, I know what the reason was. I was in a rush. I didn't do concept art for this chair.
Sticks out a lot.
In the past, that's always been my mistake. But what are you gonna do? Your boy's gotta move. My intention for the seat is to make it look a lot more like a built-in bench than a simple office chair.
Use a clamp, idiot. Use a clamp.
I don't know why, but I just love a built-in bench. I'm the guy who, when the host of the restaurant asks if I have a seating preference, always says, yes, I would like a booth, please. And then they watch me as I sprawl out all over that thing like I just got punched by Sugar Ray Leonard.
What? What am I missing? Oh, you can't put hinges on the inside. Gosh.
There was flaw after flaw as a result of my hurry, and when you keep on in a hurry, flaws get hurry fixes.
Alright, let's give it a test. Okay, that works. I'll take it. It's no pocket hinges, but it'll do.
Will it, Joey? Will it? You may be surprised to find out that I spent a day on this thing. And let's just say the lack of concept art definitely made itself known.
I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. Looks ugly. Dumb. The gray's too blue. The hinges, it's too plain. I gotta stop rushing things. Slow it down, Joe it down.
Before I take another attempt at that chair, I want to show you the invention I came up with after Bamboo Lab challenged me to use their printer to solve a problem. Every time I use the table saw, I have to drag over and connect the dust pipe, which is a tripping hazard. So, using the giant print volume of the H2S, I made a low-profile dust pipe that can be walked over, and I thought it would clog, but it works wonderfully. How cool is that?
Look how low that sits. That's insane.
If I wanted to drive a car over it, I could have gone with a high-strength filament, but those can be tricky to work with. Luckily, when printing with high-temp filaments like PPACF, this is exactly where the H2S comes into play. With a 350°C hot end, 65° actively heated chamber, and closed-loop fan control, the H2S can reliably print the full Bamboo filament lineup, from PLA and PETG to PC and PPA. This printer's really allowed me to do some things that I didn't think were possible for a dude in his garage. If you're interested in getting one of these printers for yourself, use the affiliate link in the description. Okay, back to it then.
When I switched to Allstate, I saved hundreds. My old insurance...
Skip! Yeah, I think ditching that last chair was the right move, partly because Kelly said it looked like an RV chair. You know, it's hard when you have a high standard but are also in a rush, because those things typically don't work well together. So I decided to slow it down on this one. I made some concept art I think looks pretty cool, so we'll see if my theory about concept art pays off this time. I had to make a few iterations. I showed Kelly the first drawing and she said, yeah, that's much more of a futuristic look than the last one. I said, well, I'm not going for futuristic, so I guess that one's out the window.
Oh,
Industrial. I tried to really get to the core of what industrial looked like. So you'll have to let me know what you think. If I hadn't been in a rush, I probably would have saved a lot of time. I had to make 2 chairs, and I can't fit 2 chairs in the Cloud Pod. I went to Home Depot and perused around, thought air vents might look industrial. I noticed that the normal vents I originally wanted that they had at Home Depot were kind of expensive, and that these ones were a couple bucks. And I actually think that these fit the vibe a lot better. Oh, and the second thing that I did for the more industrial look was leaving those plywood edges exposed. Got the inspiration on that one from my workbench, which I didn't even do intentionally. And the third vibe perk I did was useless bolts. You get the picture. Anyways, am I the only one that has a hard time not thinking about work when I'm with the family? I guess if I hated my job, I might not. But my brain has a tendency to start going other places sometimes. My wife always knows I'm thinking about work when she says something like, "The kids had fun at the zoo today. They were excited because they finally got to see the elephant." And I respond with, "Okay." Okay, that might not be totally hypothetical. I'm working on it, I really am. Step 1, more building. Make tiny office and garage.
This little piece, 20-25 minutes.
I don't know what it is with angles, but they be hard for me. I guess if I knew what it was, they wouldn't be.
Here we go. Yeah, buddy, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, that's a good start.
This little miter tool that came with my saw was pretty helpful. If I didn't have it, I might have messed up even more.
Okay, that looks good there. Wait, do I have it? What happened? It's like a ½ inch too short. Come on.
As is, the side on this chair might break off if I have a single one of those convulsing sneezes that I get, so I'm going to brace it up, which you'll see in a bit. The idea behind this chair is to obviously look like a built-in without actually requiring making any sort of seat myself. I literally just bought an office chair on Amazon and am building a box around it. I think that was a really great solution to speed up this process. On my last office pod, I attempted leather upholstery and it was humbling. I actually got an email from a professional leather worker that was in one of Blacktail Studios videos, and he said, "Please don't do that again. Let me do it for you." I might just take him up on that one day. This chair didn't seem like it was worth bothering him for though. Now that I'm adding the finishing touches, it's time to see if my concept art paid off. I'm super happy with how that turned out. Now on to the next step, the desk. When I planned this pod, I measured myself sitting at a desk by myself. Not the easiest thing to do accurately, but now the pod's built and the measurements are locked. If I got them wrong, this thing might not be comfortable to work at, and that could make the whole pod kind of pointless. So I'm kind of just hoping for the best here.
Smells like pancakes.
Matte black spray paint. I've used it in 6 of my 7 builds. It's perfect for hiding things. I try to always keep a couple cans on hand because you never know when you're gonna need it. I'm so used to trying to hide every bit of joinery on my projects that it took me a while to realize, wait, exposed screws are good here. So I'm just gonna throw them right onto the top of this thing.
Not ideal, not ideal. Shims? Yeah, shims.
This is the last step, and then I can do the old sit test to find out if I fit or not. Drum roll, please.
Alright, that's what I'm talking about, bruh.
Alright, well this is the best shot I have of me sitting at it, but it works great. It's at just the right height. It's at a good depth to be able to have a keyboard and some more room to store things on top of it.
These are gonna be annoying to put all along the wall. I should have just got squares. Sweet. Still works.
You may be wondering why in a dusty shop I'm using carpet instead of flooring. I want it to feel cozy. On cold days, I want to be able to spend long hours with my shoes kicked off, the door closed so that my body heat warms up the place, so I can just lock in. Thanks to one of you guys commenting, I learned a better way to cut this plexi. In the last Office Pod video, I used a very barbaric method, so it was nice that the track saw was a lot more accurate. I also bought these special drill bits in the last video that's required for this, and they were $60, and I missed the return window, so I'm glad to be able to finally use them. One of my concerns with this stuff versus using glass is that it seems to attract a lot more dust. But apparently, you can buy a spray for this stuff that'll cause it to be anti-static. What's next? Something I can spray on it to grow cucumbers? We have made it, folks. We are truly in the future. This window is easy. The one we got coming next will be anything but that. It's easy to do these short, easy tasks as a way to avoid a hard one. Sometimes it's nice to just hit a softball out of the park. Next up is the glass door. The piece I thought would seal this pod off for total work-life separation. The piece that'll allow me to lock in when I'm working and will keep me out when I'm not. With dimensions that I built this entire pod around. The piece that I have to avoid shattering when I install it 6 feet off the ground. And now comes the realization.
Doesn't fit. Oh.
Nice.
That's not good.
My hand slipped a couple times, plunging the tool into the edge of the LED strip, but I think I'm good.
Okay, I think that time I did cut the LED strip. Yeehaw! That worked! These things are pretty Brazilian.
Don't get ahead of yourself, Joey. You're still not out of the woods yet. I may have fit this part of the door frame, but this door is far from in, and that was far from the only issue with it.
Look at that gap.
So apparently my office pod wall was far from plumb, so hopefully I can cover that giant gap later. That is if this door even ends up working. More issues with it to come.
Here we go.
I just got tired out of nowhere.
I don't think I cut it big enough. Let's try again. Oh, it's so close. Yes. Yeah, buddy. Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm scared to wake up.
Sorry, Joey, problems aren't over.
Oh, it gives me the shivvies, man.
I've got a problem. I gotta drill into this thing, right where the deck is. I also have to get inside there to drill. I always do things in the worst order. Oh my. Woo! Direction said to use a helper, but I'm feeling feisty. So no helper for me today. I've got one shot at this. This is so sketchy. What?
It's time to ask more of our browser. Hey Copilot, adjust all these recipes for 7 guests and combine them into one cooking schedule. Also, I'm out of milk.
Here's a cooking schedule scaled for 7 guests and also milk-free.
Freedom. I do not know. Okay, this is a little sketchy. Okay.
Sorry again, Joey, problems aren't over. You're fighting for it, but this thing keeps fighting back.
What? It's too long. Well, I know what you're thinking. Why didn't you measure? I did. I think. I'm pretty sure I did. Right here we got a little gap there, and then it hangs over quite
So bad.
It's supposed to sit inside. Isn't this supposed to fold out? Or am I supposed to go... I'm supposed to do this? I guess I put the door hinges on wrong too. Okay.
I told myself I'd take a break and think about it overnight. So naturally I distracted myself by 3D printing a tiny pillow for my phone as a way to put my phone to rest for the night. You know, work-life boundaries. But if I'm honest, if I leave this door until tomorrow, I still won't be mentally with my family tonight.
Nice.
So I decided to get back to it and defeat the door once and for all.
Come on. What do I got going on here? Okay, this has all been done. I'm gonna try and get Kelly to help me. Okay, I shot it inside. Kelly was not there. We're doing this on our own. Oh, what? Oh, that's why.
I had put the hinges on wrong, which made the door all wonky, and fixing them helped, but it didn't solve the problem. The door still wouldn't close. Luckily, I had an idea for a solution.
Okay, so I checked the LEDs again, and I did bust the lights. You gotta laugh. You just gotta laugh. I'm not laughing, but you have to.
After realizing that the wood sticking out was just a result of my shoddy craftsmanship, I realized I could just use a flush trim bit to lance it off like an invasive skin tag colony. See ya, time to see if the door fits.
I thought I covered everything, but look at all that dust that still got in somehow. Man, that was a lot of dust. But the good news is the door fits nicely.
You know, the door didn't fit, but that actually turned out to be a good thing, because it worsened a problem I had before that I was actually avoiding addressing, and it forced me to fix it. And also, that door may technically fit now, but it's still swinging in too far and has a huge gap. So hopefully we can correct those issues as well. I went ahead and tackled those first, and it turned out great. For that problem I was ignoring before, the LED strips that I didn't like. I made a piece to extend the LEDs out, and I fixed the LEDs that I cut. And I'm so glad I did, because I really think having the LEDs exposed more will look way better. When I was planning for this next step, the cabinets with this special hidden feature, I made a mistake that I hope you and I can learn from and avoid in the future. I went cheap on the plywood. I figured I'm gonna paint it, it'll probably be fine. I'm also gonna screw everything together, which will pull it all into square. Only problem is when you run a potato chip through the table saw, you're not gonna get a 90-degree cut. I spent all day planning these boxes and about an hour and a half cutting all the pieces up. I don't know why it took so long. What's funny about this build is that I put something giant in my garage and really didn't lose any space, which I guess was the point.
That's one. Now for the next one.
But not only that, I gained space for storage.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter too much that this plywood is warped, because
These pocket holes are pulling it into square. It's shop furniture, after all.
Or so I thought. Might have spoken too soon.
That doesn't look great. Look how bowed that is. I'm hoping that when I get the drawers in there, it'll space everything out.
Another bit of hardware on top of the brad nail that's been really great and sped up my process is the pocket hole screw. Again, as someone who's super into woodworking, that's not normally the most coveted way to join things together, so I haven't used it a whole lot.
What? Why?
But let me tell you, they're super quick and pretty strong if you do them right.
Alright.
But you know, I think I still have a bit of learning to do with them.
This pretty much sums up how these cabinets went.
One of my pocket hole problems was that I didn't have all the proper clamps, and let me tell you, you need clamps if you're using pocket holes or your board will not come together right. I have 4 goals with these cabinets. The second goal is the obvious, storage. Third is to cover the feet of the CloudPod legs, and the last goal is to just fill in the dead space under the planer and make it look a bit more finished. But my number 1 goal is this little hidden feature here. These drawers won't be supported by the drawer slides, their weight will be supported by the ground, because they need to be able to support about 200 pounds. And with the way things are going, in about 5 years, they'll need to support about 220, because these are going to be the steps that I use to get into the CloudPod. Well, hopefully, if those pocket hole screws are as strong as I say they are.
This is the first step of this process. Literally. First step. It's sliding on the floor right now. It should just be a hair, a few millimeters above the floor, so that when I put my weight on it, it'll rest on the floor, hopefully. So let's see how it slides out. Slides out nicely. Next step, the next step. Oh yeah. I just hit my head so hard.
Bro!
Ow. I opened this, and then I went down, or maybe it opened, and I rammed my head on this thing so hard. And my guts in my head are feeling shaky. Where's the bump cap?
I may have made a few mistakes on this thing. Shocking, I know. So before I risk my life testing if these cheapo plywood cabinets can hold me, I had to add some clever mechanisms. With this pin halfway through pulling out the bottom drawer, the top one pops out too. And if that's still too much work, I even made it so that I don't need to use my hands at all. Usability, baby. Also, I wanted to make sure I could still use these as storage because I knew I would kick myself later if I didn't do it. When I first started making these cabinets, I was pretty confident that I could make them look like pro-grade cabinets, even though I was starting with rough materials. Now I'm not so sure. How good of an idea do you think those stairs are for getting in? Do you have a better one? I'd love to hear it. Before I test those steps, I let the paint dry, and I'm moving on to installing my monitor. This giant arm was gonna be my method for holding it up, and after a minute of looking at it, I decided it was just gonna take up too much room. I realized I could come up with something else that wouldn't take up all my desk space. I won't make you watch it, but I kept splitting wood pieces and having all sorts of hole placement issues, but eventually I got it done.
I did it, and I think it looks pretty good.
One of the best parts of these tiny office builds is not just having a tiny place to sit at the computer, but turning that space into a fully functional office where you have everything you need.
Oh, man.
That's the goal with this pegboard, but I just messed it up. Guess what? I fixed it with 3D printing. Guess my dad was right about the jigsaw because my cut was anything but straight. That edge was super visible, but luckily it only took about an hour to print out that little trim piece to cover up the edge. You might be thinking, an hour? I could have made that piece out of wood in like 20 minutes. That may be true, but I took a nap while it was being printed. Can you nap while you woodwork? This is my solution for there being too much yellow in my shop, and I think it made a big difference. These gray ones just feel kind of fancy. I don't know, maybe they just look like wool or something. Gives it a recording studio vibe. And during
Skip!
all that, I finished my step cabinets, which turned out pretty great, I do say so myself. The last step I didn't show on camera was me anchoring it into the wall so that when I'm using it, it stays in place.
Boom, baby. Steps are finished. Boom, boom. Right now I'm gonna take my shoes off because they're a little dirty. That's okay. You open the door first. Of course, you can't walk through a door. Come on. Okay. Step, step. Handle's gonna go up here. Boom. Bada bing, bada boom. I love it. And then you get out. Made for tall people. No short people allowed.
Yeah, it's horrid.
The handle up in there to make it easier to get it in.
We're now onto the finishing touches of the build, the cherries on top that'll make this thing legit. Once those are done, I'll be able to say this project is finished, and you'll know how much this thing costs and just how long this build took. I have a plan for fixing my issue with the carpet, but first I gotta work on the things that'll really make it look like a shipping container. All shipping containers have these corner castings. I didn't look that name up, I knew it in the womb. Usually they're the same color as the shipping container, but I decided it would really make them pop if I painted them pink. No, I'm kidding, but I did paint them black. The hole's also usually a pill shape, but a circle was easier and I didn't really think it would make a difference.
This has got to go. The black carpet. It shows the dust. I want to show you the difference between black and gray. You see that dust there? You can't really see it. And any speck of dust you can see on the black.
Next was the bolt heads, and nothing says industrial like bolt heads, so before printing all of them I tried out this size.
Too big.
So I sized them down a little bit and tested that out.
Yeah, that's better.
Then I went ahead and printed all of them. If I didn't print these out, I would have had to buy a bunch of different sized bolts, then cut the threads off, and then paint them, which would have been expensive and a hassle. Printing all these out cost 36 cents. The next print is a little thank you to Bamboo. This is a tiny filament spool that I'm going to use as my door handle. All it took was a little sticky back tape and it worked wonderfully. We'll see if Morley notices this little detail, or even if he notices that the Cloud Pod is supposed to be a shipping container. If he doesn't notice that, he might be dumb. When I came up with the name for the Cloud Pod, Kelly said, "That makes me think of fluffy white clouds." And, well, that's her problem.
I dig that.
For me, it's more of a nod to Bespin, Cloud City. That's what I think of, and you should too. I had this stencil made at a local shop, which also could have done vinyl stickers, but I kind of wanted the messy spray paint vibe you would see on a shipping container. I needed a little cable organizer for my laptop cord that could be screwed into the desk because the adhesive ones never work, and I didn't want to have to wait a day for it to get to my house, so I was able to 3D print one in about 20 minutes. I thought it was pretty cool that I unexpectedly needed something and had it within 20 minutes. That's faster than I could have gone to the store. Getting it on Amazon would have been like $5. This was 25 cents. And this is the very last step before I reveal this thing to Morley. Can't wait to see what he thinks. I also can't wait to see what you think. Do me a favor and rate this compared to my other projects. At the end, I will do the last ultimate test to see if the Cloud Pod will work as my daily office by sitting it for a solid 8-hour workday with my normal snack and lunch breaks. This test will be so normal, so mundane, and so routine that it's bordering on the extreme. Real quick, let's talk about how much this thing cost and how long it took. It surprisingly wasn't my longest project at 2.5 months and not my most expensive at $3,700. Okay, now let's show this thing to Morley. Hopefully he enjoys it.
Hey! What's up, dude?
How's it going, man?
I'm good. I'm at the Hackspace right now. I was chamfering 150 slats to make a Tambour door.
Oh my goodness. All right, time has come for me to reveal the tiny office to you.
I'm so excited. Yes.
I've been working on it for quite a while now.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Whoa. Wow, that looks like AI. That looks like a render.
That's the nicest thing you could have said to me.
Wow, okay, so it's like shipping containers.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of like, it's like the industrial vibe of my garage.
Wow. That's crazy.
Thanks, man.
I've never seen anything like that before.
I love that. I got a smile on my face. You can't tell.
Wow. Oh, cool. You got, wow, it's like a, I'm trying to like get a knee-jerk reaction to like what the aesthetic is for the inside, but I don't know, it's so unique. Cloud Pod, cool.
All right, so the challenge was that if you inform my decision for how I get into this thing, you get a bobblehead. And you get the bobblehead!
No way.
No, that's not happening. Can you guess, though, how I get in this?
I'm seeing like a cavity under the seat. So I'm wondering if something comes out of that.
Nope. That actually would have been a really good idea. What the heck?
Okay, I'm gonna guess that you're literally just climbing into it. There's no additional anything.
All right, so this is steps.
That's good. That's very sleek.
Not many people can get into it but me.
Yeah, that last step looks like a doozy. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, well that's incredible. What a project.
Peace.
Peace.
Now, to answer the question, will this tiny cloud pod actually work as my daily office? I spent the entire day working in there, and while my rear was kind of sore, that's more of a grandpa butt issue. Turns out, I don't flail my arms around much while I work, so I don't need all that much space at a desk. Only problem is it's kind of only for tall people. Other than that, it works awesome. I love it. In fact, I've been working in here for a few weeks now, and it's fully replaced my old office. But here's the thing, it didn't fix my daydreaming issue about work when I'm with the family. Turns out, that's not a boundary problem, it's a priority problem. To lock that in, I 3D printed a little lever, a reminder to flip out of work mode and into dad mode at the end of the day, because let's be honest, that's where the real work begins. The thing is, if I'm always thinking about work when I'm with my family, I'm telling them that work matters more to me. And I don't want that to be true. So tonight, I'm gonna focus on something a little more important, like wearing a gladiator helmet and wailing on my boys with a pool noodle. Go check out the time I made an office pod under my stairs and destroyed my house for 3 months in the process.
All right. Ooh.
Alright gang, I don't just have knuckle dusters. I have a whole toolkit known as an Apache. Now this guy can fold on open and give us our Chris-style blade, at which point we could close it if we want and use it as a knife, or maybe, just maybe, it's a kind of a sort of bayonet for our revolver. We've locked in there on that spring. This big spring is our main spring, works on that cross pin. If I pull this double action only trigger, you'll see it cocking back. Yep, and then I'm gonna let this ride because I don't want to tear it up, but boom, that spring sends the hammer right on down on one of our actually pin fire cartridges. There's not much of a barrel, so you're gonna wanna work up close and personal, but overall, an interesting toolkit for somebody that needs a little bit of everything. I want to thank Tim from College Hill Arsenal for letting us take a look at this guy.
That's cool.
You've got a mug, you each have one end of the rope. Helmets down. Now, this time, Alex, I'm going to take the mug from you. I'm going to hand it over to you, Dylan. Hold your right hand out. Hold it right there by the handle. Hold that right there over the rope. Now, Dylan, if you don't let go of your end of the rope, and if Alex doesn't let go of his end of the rope, there's no way possible that mug could end up on that rope with you holding it. But it's going to happen anyway. On the count of 3, I want you to drop the mug. It's going to fall through the air and land on the rope and link onto it like magic. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Do you feel it? Go ahead, take a look. Open up your helmet. Feel it. There's a mug on the rope. That's really on there. You're going to take that off of there for me if you don't mind. Fantastic. Go ahead and hold on to that if you don't mind. Fantastic. We're going to put your visors down one more time. Thank you, guys. Now, if Penn and Teller were to try to code that method to me, they might say something like, these two guys were duped. So we'll do it again. This time a little bit differently. What I'm going to do is have you fellas just open up your visors one more time, if you don't mind. Just lift up your visors so you can see the situation. And now, Dylan, I'm going to ask you to hold up one end of the rope. Now, I'm going to take the rope and thread it through the handle. And I want you to verify for everybody, you can see the rope going through the handle, yes? Fantastic. Would you hold on to that? Hold it right there. See, this time we're going to start with the rope on the mug. And in fact, fellas, this time, you can leave your visors up. Because this cloth is going to take the place of your helmets and protect the secret of the trick. After all, I can't leave the stage without giving Penn and Teller something to puzzle over. But this whole time I've been teaching you how to get a mug on a rope. I've told you nothing about getting a mug off a rope. And that is an entirely different science. You've got a mug, you each have one end of the rope.
Okay, this ring right here is causing quite the stir for married couples.
What's the biggest mistake you've seen a genius developer make? Years ago, I worked for a small...
No.
What screams? I'm just pretending to be...
No.
Looking for unbeatable?
No.
My boss said we need to discuss why you're in the...
No.
Yeah, I am.
Like, yeah, hurt.
Well, this one has more padding than that one. And he hits harder than me.
I can't
So
have-
it can't be any harder.
Okay. Oh, fuck, that one hurts way more. Yeah, I am.
Good.
Like, yeah, it hurt.
Well, this one has more padding than that one. And he hits harder than it.
I'm trying to.
It can't be any harder.
Okay. Oh, fuck, that one hurts way more. Yeah.
What's up, Railroad Lotus?
We are not.
So he did try to kill me. Joy, does this antenna look familiar? Looks like pennies hanging on it.
That's the antenna. Bingo!
Look at that. I remember what happened. I remember it all.
After Darnell kicked us out of the crab shack, we knew the cops were looking for the stolen bike.
Oh, you did it! You made it up the ramp!
The cops are gonna be looking for a guy and a giant chicken, but they're never gonna be looking for two giant half chickens.
Alright, you gotta be here somewhere. There's yellow feathers everywhere. Fan out. Shut up.
I can't help it, Randy.
Rock smashes scissors. Sucks to be you.
After about 10 minutes, the cops ran out of steam.
Oh God! I killed him. I killed him. Goodbye, brother. So he did try to kill me. Joy, does this antenna look familiar?
My dad warns me not to expect a birthday gift since I'm the least favorite, but I turn the
Funny, the man has jokes.
He's funny.
My grandpa got arrested for demolishing his own shed.
Chewie!
Hey, young one, that's a nice face covering.
You never compliment my helmet.
Huh?
Very good.
Bust down, these hoes can't stand me. Currently working on a Grammy me.
We've got eyes on you. Let me see your identification. What? Interesting. If there's one Jedi left, it's not you.
You didn't see any.
Okay. Chewie!
My grandpa got arrested.
Chewie!
Jiffy Lubes.
Waiters, have you ever had to call the cops on your table? This guy in his 40s came in with what he called his daughter, a girl who looked about 15 or 16. Something felt off immediately. She wouldn't make eye contact with anyone, and Flynn...
I'm sorry, I missed. I'm sorry.
Do the break!
Yeah, you're right. I don't blame him.
You better get your little booty down to town.
My Saturn V tie, since almost all of this length is rocket fuel, and the astronauts located in the capsule at the top, and just behind them is like the lunar module and other cargo, basically. So all of this is designed to carry this upper section to the moon and back. My Saturn V tie.
I didn't know there was an ocean in Chicago. There's not. Big Lake. Big Lake. It's not an ocean. Literally Lake of Michigan. I have been in a few lakes in my life. Yes. They're brown and I can see the end. Yes. That was an ocean. Lake Michigan. What's the difference between a lake and an ocean?
Oh my God.
You're kidding? Or I'm dead ass. Because if the lake that was in Chicago is a lake, I don't know what a lake and an ocean is. A lake is completely enclosed by land. Isn't everything enclosed by land?
Oh my God.
Are you with me right now? Technically, everything's enclosed by land. No, all of land's enclosed by water. If the Earth Hold on, are we doing a riddle? If the Earth is 70% water, how in the hell would you say the 30% is enclosing the 70? The 70 is enclosing the 30. Yes or no, when we were in Chicago, did you see the other part of the land? On that ocean lake. It's a big-ass lake. That's no ocean. It's a lake. Did it run out to something? To Canada! Exactly. More land. Lake. I didn't know there was an ocean in Chicago.
Oh my God!
Big Lake.
That's
Big Lake. It's not an ocean.
Get that out
literally
there.
Lake of Michigan. I have been in a few lakes in my life. Yes. They're brown, and I can
Enter the all-new
I mean, not to mention saltwater and freshwater. But hey.
Tommy.
No, don't wipe it off, dude.
Dude, where's the money at, bro?
Well, I gotta go to the ATM, man.
The fuck you mean you need to go to the ATM, bro?
Daddy. Shut up! Come here.
Better find the police. MI-19.
All you gotta do, kiss your friend once for 1,000.
Nigga, put that on your mom.
On your mom.
Shit, we got it. 10 seconds.
I'm not paying.
Do you need a hand?
Do I need a hand lotioning my girlfriend's back? No. I'd like you to get the hell away from us.
Excuse me, ma'am.
I'm not a
You know
man.
what? I'm sorry, ma'am. Did I?
I'm not a fucking man.
I thought
Richard.
Richard could be a man. I don't.
Everyone knows the definition of photosynthesis, right?
Yes, sir. But sir, in reality, plants are actually farming us.
Enlighten me.
Well, by giving us oxygen daily until we all eventually decompose so they can consume us.
Well,
That's what I was talking about with mushrooms. That's what the mushrooms are doing.
dude, what have you done to our teacher?
Sometimes I'll start a sentence, and I don't even know where it's going. I just hope I find it along the way.
Good morning, class. I'll be your substitute for the next 4 years, and your teacher, Mr. Johnson, said to give each of you separate 10-page essay assignments every day, followed by 3 pop quizzes and a daily 4-hour presentation in front of the whole school. Because he said, and I quote, "I don't need sleep. I need answers." That didn't go the way you thought it would. Everyone knows the definition of photosynthesis, right?
Yes, sir. But sir, in reality, plants are actually farming us.
Enlighten me.
Well, by giving us oxygen daily until we all eventually decompose so they can consume.
What song would you play over a loudspeaker to like psych out an enemy?
It's Raining Men.
Oh, that's fucking dangerous. That's scary.
I'm a Barbie girl.
Ew, gross.
You know that song by Carly Rae Jepsen, that Friday?
Oh no, that's
Gotta Get
Rebecca
Down
Black.
On- Yes, Rebecca Black. Thank you.
Mine is
Love
Tiptoe Through the Tulips by Tiny Tim because it's eerie.
Oh, Party in the USA.
Good one.
Yes.
Good one.
I would go hard. I would go metal, like
I was thinking Welcome to the Jungle,
Slaughter
maybe.
to Prevail.
Yeah, Slaughter to Prevail
I would
is
do
gonna be
like
my other-
Slaughter, so you know what's about to happen.
Leave to that shit.
That
fucking.
I want Phil Collins.
Boom, and the ambush starts right at the boom. What song would you play over a loudspeaker to like?
Red button, blue button, max, always max.
Press buttons.
Did you drink the ooze?
Why can I understand you?
You just drank me?
I did. What?
Oh, do you need some more ooze? Here.
I'm okay. I'm okay.
Wow. Big hole.
His name is Scott Lang. He has 7 holes.
How did you know that?
He's Quaz. He's a telepath.
Could you please stop thinking that?
Sorry.
Please stop thinking. What are you doing here?
Are you a spy?
What? No.
We're not. We're not spies. He's my dad.
Then who is San Francisco?
It's where we're from.
It's a place.
Then what's Earth?
It's also where we're from.
What are you doing here? Where are you from?
Up there.
Here above this?
The Earth.
It's a
Big
different
Earth.
universe.
Well,
this is Earth, but it's very small but it's Earth bigger. Right here.
This is the quantum realm, and you have to shrink to get the quantum realm. So
From
we
it's bigger.
shrunk, and right now
Bigger
we're
where
really
from.
small.
Where we're
So
from.
we're small.
It's bigger.
Okay, they're telling the truth.
You come from above, like him. He will burn the world to find you. Who? The conqueror.
Did you drink the ooze?
Why can I understand you?
What's that? Decided to live together here. So
I got a celly, man.
Are dependent on 2 Christians. You're late again. What did I say was going to happen? That's right. Go to timeout. On 2 crucial factors. Does anybody? No chair. Just crisscross applesauce in the corner. Market. The key concern is.
The fuck.
That's right. Services in any area. And if you price too high, you will end up with are dependent on 2 Christians. You're late again. What did I say was going to happen? That's right. Go to timeout. On 2 crucial factors.
I mean, it's funny. It made me laugh.
Just crisscross
I don't think
applesauce
I
in the
agree
corner.
with it.
market. The key concern is
Origins brings together nature's best with scientifically crafted ingredients.
If you can crochet, you can quick draw a meteor hammer.
I'll be the judge of that.
Starting on the anchor side, I'm going to stick out 2 fingers.
I don't have whatever twine he's using, but I do have this super bulky yarn.
I'm going to take the line back behind that and pull it through the loop.
Hey, I know that. That's just a magic ring.
Grab the lead line and pull it back through. I'm going to continue doing this through every loop that I create.
I don't know how he is making his look so beautiful. I look like a drunk kitten, but it's done.
I'm going to take the weight and stick it in my pocket or leave it hanging.
A weight is not something that I just keep in my house, but I have this Apple Watch. What could go wrong? Looks exactly like his. All right, the weight goes here. This is going to be excellent for when a house robber comes. I'll just say, hold on a second, and then make this get up.
Pull out a little string and then do the exact same thing, tucking it in over on the other side.
Hold on, robber. Just give me a minute. Don't rob me yet. Just 1 minute.
I'm going to take the rest of what I've got, tuck it into my other pocket or leave it dangling, and we're good to go.
I feel like Donatello, the coolest Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
Then touch somewhere on the rope so that it doesn't all go flying at once, and now I've got my quick draw.
And now the moment of truth. Hand here, here. I think it worked.
If you can crochet, you can quick draw a meteor hammer.
I'll be the judge of that.
Starting on the anchor side, I'm going to stick out 2 fingers.
I don't have whatever.
Eddie! Eddie's! Eddie's!
Stand by.
Eddie!
How long will this take? I'm kind of in a rush.
Just 10 minutes.
10 minutes?
Just 10. I had Liza lock it in the chip.
Guess what?
What?
On a vacation. I can request the body cam because I just found 1 out of 20 that was legal.
If you could pull out two of them, I can drain them and go through in a little more detail. That'd be helpful if that's easier for you guys. Got 7 crab here. These are just crab that I pulled off the top that were pretty short, way undersized.
Keep coming to pull them all out and drain them for you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I just pulled 3 and they were all short, so it's not looking good so far. Did an inspection of your offload today, and we've got quite a bit undersized.
How many did you find?
So about 700 pounds.
Jeez.
Yeah, what?
I was wondering if I could use your phone.
My phone?
Yes.
In my house?
Yes, sir. I need to call my mom. I'm locked out of the house because these guys in gym class took my keys and my phone, and I can't get in. They also
I
took
don't
my
need to hear the
wallet.
whole story, okay? One call.
Oh, hey, Mom. I lost my keys for the house and my wallet and my phone, and I'm at the old guy's next door. Sir, what's your name?
Vincent, the old guy.
Vincent, the old guy. The mean one.
What's your name?
It's Oliver, sir.
Hi, this is Maggie, Oliver's mom.
Your kid's here.
Yeah, I know, I got his message. I hope that's all right.
Is what all right?
That he stays there.
Stay here. You want me to babysit?
Probably gonna sit quietly and do his homework. He's really easy.
Sir, is that...
How much you paying?
What?
You want me to babysit?
I'm not a philanthropy.
I don't, $10 an hour?
12.
Okay.
He doesn't like many people.
I'm good with animals, sir.
Yeah. He doesn't usually like people who say they're good with animals.
I thought you ate at Vincent's house.
Good sushi.
Good sushi?
Well, sardines. He calls it sushi. Didn't want to hurt his feelings.
So you like him?
He's interesting. Sort of cool. In a grouchy sort of way.
Yeah, I bet he is. You know, he offered to watch you after school.
He did?
It's a horrible idea, right?
Well, he lives right next door. Can't get closer than that. I guess he's too old to be dangerous. And not too old to be too dangerous either, if you know what I mean. Sir?
Yeah, what?
I was wondering if I could use your phone.
Pretty sure it was a good movie.
There's something bad. I watched it.
Hard to be a bad movie with his ass in there.
Don't ever stop.
There's something bad here in Derry.
Don't ever stop.
Cool.
This professional chef is making Rambook Nene because after the FDA offered him to get approved, he decided to make the best looking Rambook of his life. But as he was making the item, you won't believe what he does.
I've been making Rambook Nene on this application for 3 years because the FDA told me that I gotta make it for 4 years until I can get approved. So I got 1 year left. So this first person is gonna be the foundation of our tower that we fit to make this year. We're gonna start the foundation with purple. I'm squeezing it, I'm not stretching it, and as you can see it's stretching. I'm gonna poke that hole in the middle, and now we're gonna start squeezing that thing on the outside. It's so hard right now. Take the hard part out because we can't use the hard. Now we're gonna stretch it like that. We got 1 layer of Rambook Nene. Dip it into the magical powder. 1 + 1, 2 + 2, 4 + 4, 16 + 16. Tastes like Rambook Nene. Don't look like Rambook Nene. See, this is why the FDA won't approve me.
This professional chef is making Rambook Nene because after the FDA offered him to get approved, he decided to make the best looking Rambook of his life. But as he was making the item, you won't believe what he does.
I've been making Rambook Nene on this application for 3 years because the FDA told me that I gotta make it for 4 years until I can get approved. So I got 1 year left. So this first person is gonna be the foundation of our tower that we fit to make this year. We're gonna start the foundation with purple. I'm squeezing it, I'm not stretching it, and as you can see it's stretching. I'm gonna poke that hole in the middle, and now we're gonna start squeezing that thing on the outside. It's so hard right now. Take the hard part out because we can't use the hard. Now we're gonna stretch it like that. We got 1 layer of Rambook Nene. Dip it into the magical powder. 1 + 1, 2 + 2, 4 + 4, 16 + 16. Tastes like Rambook Nene. Don't look like Rambook Nene. See, this is why the FDA won't approve me.
This professional chef is making Rambook Nene because after the FDA offered him to get approved, he decided to make the best looking Rambook of his life. But as he was making the item, you won't believe what he does.
I've been making Rambook Nene on this application for 3 years because the FDA told me that I gotta make it for 4 years until I can get approved. So I got 1 year left. So this first person is gonna be the foundation of our tower that we fit to make this year. We're gonna start the foundation with purple. I'm squeezing it, I'm not stretching it, and as you can see it's stretching. I'm gonna poke that hole in the middle, and now we're gonna start squeezing that thing on the outside. It's so hard right now. Take the hard part out because we can't use the hard. Now we're gonna stretch it like that. We got 1 layer of Rambook Nene. Dip it into the magical powder. 1 + 1, 2 + 2, 4 + 4, 16 + 16. Tastes like Rambook Nene. Don't look like Rambook Nene. See, this is why the FDA won't approve me.
This professional chef is making Rambook Nene because after the FDA offered him to get approved, he decided to make the best looking Rambook of his life. But as he was making the item, you won't believe what he does.
I've been making Rambook Nene on this application for 3 years because the FDA told me that I gotta make it for 4 years until I can get approved. So I got 1 year left. So this first person is gonna be the foundation of our tower that we fit to make this year. We're gonna start the foundation with purple. I'm squeezing it, I'm not stretching it, and as you can see it's stretching. I'm gonna poke that hole in the middle, and now we're gonna start squeezing that thing on the outside. It's so hard right now. Take the hard part out because we can't use the hard. Now we're gonna stretch it like that. We got 1 layer of Rambook Nene. Dip it into the magical powder. 1 + 1, 2 + 2, 4 + 4, 16 + 16. Tastes like Rambook Nene. Don't look like Rambook Nene. See, this is why the FDA won't approve me.
This professional chef is making Rambook Nene because after the FDA offered him to get approved, he decided to make the best looking Rambook of his life. But as he was making the item, you won't believe what he does.
I've been making Rambook Nene on this application for 3 years because the FDA told me that I gotta make it for 4 years until I can get approved. So I got 1 year left. So this first person is gonna be the foundation of our tower that we fit to make this year. We're gonna start the foundation with purple. I'm squeezing it, I'm not stretching it, and as you can see it's stretching. I'm gonna poke that hole in the middle, and now we're gonna start squeezing that thing on the outside. It's so hard right now. Take the hard part out because we can't use the hard. Now we're gonna stretch it like that. We got 1 layer of Rambook Nene. Dip it into the magical powder. 1 + 1, 2 + 2, 4 + 4, 16 + 16. Tastes like Rambook Nene. Don't look like Rambook Nene. See, this is why the FDA won't approve me.
This professional chef is making Rambook Nene because after the FDA offered him to get approved, he decided to make the best looking Rambook of his life. But as he was making the item, you won't believe what he does.
I've been making Rambook Nene on this application for 3 years because the FDA told me that I gotta make it for 4 years until I can get approved. So I got 1 year left. So this first person is gonna be the foundation of our tower that we fit to make this year. We're gonna start the foundation with purple. I'm squeezing it, I'm not stretching it, and as you can see it's stretching. I'm gonna poke that hole in the middle, and now we're gonna start squeezing that thing on the outside. It's so hard right now. Take the hard part out because we can't use the hard. Now we're gonna stretch it like that. We got 1 layer of Rambook Nene. Dip it into the magical powder. 1 + 1, 2 + 2, 4 + 4, 16 + 16. Tastes like Rambuck Nene. Don't look like Rambuck Nene. See, this is why the FDA won't approve me.
This professional chef is making Rambuck Nene because after the FDA offered him to get approved, he decided to make the best looking Rambuck of his life. But as he was making the item, you won't believe what he does.
I've been making Rambuck Nene on this application for 3 years because the FDA told me that I gotta make it for 4 years until I can get approved. So I got 1 year left. So this first person is gonna be the foundation of our tower that we fit to make this year. We're gonna start the foundation with purple. I'm squeezing it, I'm not stretching it, and as you can see, it's stretching. I'm gonna poke that hole in the middle, and now we're gonna start squeezing that thing on the outside. It's so hard right now. Take the hard part out, because we can't use the hard. Now, we're gonna stretch it like that. And we got 1 layer of Rambuck Nene. Dip it into the magical powder. 1 plus 1, 2 plus 2, 4 plus 4, 16 plus 16. Tastes like Rambuck Nene. Don't look like Rambuck Nene. See, this is why the FDA won't approve me.
This professional chef is making Rambuck Nene because after the FDA offered him to get approved, he decided to make the best looking Rambuck of his life. But as he was making the item, you won't believe what he does.
I've been making Rambuck Nene on this application for 3 years because the FDA told me that I gotta make it for 4 years until I can get approved. So I got 1 year left. So this first person is gonna be the foundation of our tower that we fit to make this year. We're gonna start the foundation with purple. I'm squeezing it, I'm not stretching it, and as you can see, it's stretching. I'm gonna poke that hole in the middle, and now we're gonna start squeezing that thing on the outside. It's so hard right now. Take the hard part out, because we can't use the hard. Now, we're gonna stretch it like that. And we got 1 layer of Rambuck Nene. Dip it into the magical powder. 1 plus 1, 2 plus 2, 4 plus 4, 16 plus 16. Tastes like Rambuck Nene. Don't look like Rambuck Nene. See, this is why the FDA won't approve me.
This professional chef is making Rambuck Nene because after the FDA offered him to...
Mom transferred $42,000 from my account to pay off my sister's credit card debt. She really needed this, she said. Then my phone buzzed with a fraud alert. I'm 35, and I've been the family ATM since my first real...
Silly me.
Prestone antifreeze coolant. The future is yellow. The future runs on Prestone.
Welcome back to another episode of our Make It Real Fallout Power Armor series. We're attempting to make the world's first fully functioning T60 power armor, and here is what we've managed so far. Throughout the last 5 episodes, we've managed to finish the armor's pneumatic arms, allowing us to curl over 300 pounds, an augmented reality heads-up display helmet with integrated thermal and night vision, a fully self-contained power pack powerful enough to operate the entire suit, and even some crazy mechanical hands, which didn't quite work as well as expected on the first try, but a lot of you guys had really good feedback in the last episode, so we started implementing lots of those upgrades for the hands, including better cables, tensioning, and finger force tuning. Now, you guys might be wondering, wait a sec, isn't this episode 6? The final episode? Yeah, we're gonna need a few more videos to finish this. It turns out building real-life power armor is a bit harder than we thought. However, we are hoping to have this entire project done by end of the year at the latest.
On the plus side, the upper body of the power armor is almost complete, and it's got tons of power. But it's kind of missing a crucial part, the armor. And that's what we're gonna tackle in this episode. We need to design, prototype, and test some real-life armor plating that would allow this suit to stop bullets and become real-life power armor. Which, by the way, you can make your very own because we've finally uploaded all the parts to Thanks. Which means if you've got a printer and some filament, you can print your very own power armor. And in an upcoming episode, we're gonna figure out how to support the weight of this entire thing by building powered legs. So make sure to stay tuned for that. But right now, our goal is to make the power armor bullet resistant. We want it to be able to stand up to things like pipe guns, handguns, shotguns, and maybe even some rifles. And as you know, in the game, the power armor is not only bulletproof, but also allows the user to stay fairly mobile while traveling the wasteland. So we need to find a solution that is not only durable, but also relatively thin and light. So let's get started. So for our composite armor, we need to figure out what composites we have left over from the John Wick suit, and figure out what layup we want to do to give us the most bulletproof and lightest build we can.
Let's consult our bulletproof material library. Alright, so after we did the John Wick suit, we put all of our findings into this handy dandy material library with all the different materials, the different layups, the orientation, and the approximate armor level for each. The Dynemas. So these were actually really good, but they did the handkerchiefing. that you mentioned. But if we have the combination of hard Nanovate and this, could be good. So again, 25 layers, which gives you 5.4 kilograms per meter squared, which really isn't that much.
In this case, compared to the John Wick suit, we don't necessarily care about the flexibility, because the armor is going to be rigid anyway. What we care more about is the weight. And we don't really care about back face deformation because we have that backplate of nanobate coated armor as well. So we just want the thinnest and the lightest material possible.
And the minimum, we got down to 2.6, but again, not guaranteed. Level 3A, 5.8 kilograms. We've got Kevlar XP-K520 and the core matrix. And we saw the core matrix.
Yep. So I'm thinking that this is probably our winner right now. That right there is enough to stop some pretty high caliber rounds. So like, if we're curving some of these pieces around my arm,
Yep.
that should be quite good.
So this is the stuff that we used for the jacket.
Very
I want to go
good.
double check the library to make sure this wasn't the heavy stuff, because I think it might be. We should get the area calculation from the model.
Yeah, I can do that. So we have a couple of test samples. We've got our abdominal plate, of which we're going to take this section area here and use that as our test sample because that's one of the more flat pieces that's going to be easier for us to pair effectively. In terms of area, 6.7 by...
Alright, good news. We do have the material that you liked. The Kevlar XP-K520. Potentially, we might want to look at armoring certain parts of the power armor with full level 3A and other parts with less.
I got some calculations for you.
Yeah?
So I threw together a little Excel sheet. So we're roughly around 3,400, which is about 2.2 square meters.
It's not bad. So quite literally, if we went with this for everything, that would only be 12 kilograms to make it bulletproof. Not to mention the metal, which will make it more bulletproof.
So we still don't know what material we're going to use for 3D prints, right? So I've got a couple samples here. I've got these, which are solid nylon, and these are hefty. These, like,
It's probably already half kilogram by itself.
a piece of solid PLA. Like, that feels like
It will be interesting to see how much 3D printed plastic will stop a bullet. Alright, let's make some samples.
Make some samples. For the samples, this piece should be more than enough, right? What's actually really cool is our Bambu Lab H2D can actually do laser cutting, and it's perfect for prototyping. But since we have to make hundreds of samples, I'm going to take advantage of the larger CO2 lasers that we have. We need 105 pieces, and that's going to make us 18 different samples of different thicknesses and different combinations. And then we need a couple more, and then we got more of a different one, and then more of a different one still. We have a lot of samples to make. Alright, then we've got this huge stack of Kevlar swatches. Just hold them together. We have our first few swatches of the K520. This is 5 layers, and we're going to install them into our 3D printed parts. There we go, our very first test sample. I have to make 17 more. Thankfully, we have over 30 Bambu Lab printers all around the shop, so we've got a bunch of prints going on. We've got lightweight Aero PLA, standard PLA, and high-strength glass fiber nylon. And with the help of our brand new Bambu Lab H2D, we now have a massive print bed with 2 nozzles, allowing us to print dozens of samples in multiple different materials all in one go. So while that prints, I'm going to make some metal samples. And even though making the entire suit out of stainless would be way too heavy, we decided to make a few samples to compare against anyway.
For 5 weeks until November 24th, we're giving away a total of 5,000 premium prizes. Each time you enter, you also earn a chance at the 100K grand prize. Enter every week to boost your chances. What would winning $100,000 look like for you? Enter Win with Zyn, and you can find out. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Great.
Rated R.
Alright, so we're here at Urban Tactical, and we're going to test our composite armor for the Power Armor project.
We've got multiple samples of monolithic plastics, Kevlar composites, and even steel to see which one's going to stop a bullet best.
Alright, Bogdan, you go first. Don't miss. Ooh. Is it good fun?
I think so. I hope so.
Let's take a look. See if this comes off. Bogdan?
So the air PLA, all three went through. You can see there's 100% air PLA, did nothing. But the nylon and the regular PLA at 100% did actually stop it. Good to know.
All right, exact same samples, but now we're shooting it with a 45 ACP handgun. Oh boy.
Nice shot!
Woo! If you average them all out, they're center. All right, it went straight through pretty well everything, except for the 100%. Good to know though. Glass fiber nylon's pretty strong. All right, shotgun slug from 20 yards. Oh!
Get it.
Miss. I'm next. No pressure.
Safety's off.
Okay.
I missed.
Damn it! There we go. Dead center on that one. Oh, I was close on the second one. Oh, I was really low on the first one. My eyesight's bad. Woo. Nice! And this is why my assistant is my second, and possibly first, if someone duels me.
I broke the stand.
Alright, the glass fiber nylon, even in the thickest section, is...
Did it survive? No, it came out here.
Oh.
We're definitely gonna need something a little stronger than this soft shotgun slugs.
Maybe the composite. Now we got the composites. We've got different layups of Kevlar.
So these two were level 3A, these were level 2 as light as we can go, and these are properly level 2.
Alright, so hypothetically, all of them should stop this. Dun dun dun.
All of them stop?
Yeah!
Which means we need to go up to the next round.
Oh, oh!
Wow. Those are not the results that I was expecting.
Where do we start? Well,
that's the core matrix, which in fact held the bullet. What I think we've learned is that how we mount the Kevlar is more important than the thickness of the Kevlar that we use, because if we don't mount it properly, our mount just gets blown to shreds, and then that's not bulletproof anymore. If you were to take a second round into that, that would be a bad day for you.
so this is where the Nanovate can really help us, because having a hard layer on the outside makes the bullet shrapnel and the energy dissipates like that. When you're taking all the energy into the piece of armor, that's why it explodes and falls off the target.
We need to pull this one out.
Oh yeah, it's all in.
Got it.
Bogdan.
Yeah? It stopped the bullet.
It stopped them, but you'd still break ribs.
Oh, that's where the Nanovate comes into play.
Yeah. Ooh, hang on.
Wait, the Kevlar's inside?
Kevlar's back here, bro.
What the heck? It's on the wall.
All right. Yeah, defending against a slug is no laughing matter. All right, we got some pretty cool results. The composites are definitely faring pretty good. I bet with the coating of Nanovate, we'd actually be like up there and like really good armor.
It seems like the Kevlar is actually stopping most of the rounds. It's actually the fixturing of the Kevlar and how that absorbs the energy that makes the big difference.
But for a point of reference, we're doing a full metal test. We've got 1/16 stainless, 1/8 stainless, and 3/4 inch AR-500, which will stop whatever. I don't even know why we're shooting this, because it's going to stop everything. Anyway, shooting metal is dangerous, especially indoors, so we actually have this really awesome gun containment unit. This should lock in and hit the same spot every time. Let's see what happens. 3, 2, 1. Woo! Ho, 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 ho! Look at that dent. Wow. Oh, it stopped it, and your weld's held.
Nice.
So it's still probably not realistic to do the entire power armor of 1/16 stainless because it would still weigh, what? 350 pounds just in metal, not including the exoskeleton, the engine, the batteries, the high pressure system, everything. But based on this, maybe like 1 millimeter of nanovate or 0.5 millimeter nanovate might stand a chance because it's way stronger than stainless steel, which means you need less of it. All right, let's put the 1/8 in.
1/8 stainless. Guess what? Big slug.
3, 2, 1. Oh no!
My weld does not hold.
So that's the thing, because it's such a small area of metal that's welded on there, it moved out of the way. Like the metal itself didn't fail, the welds failed.
This is Air 500 plate, which is what's used in actual rifle round armor protectors and targets for rifle shooting.
So this one should look like nothing happens at all. 3, 2, 1.
Woo-hoo. That's a thud.
Whoa, look at all the lead in the air. Wow. Wow.
Not only did it stop the slug, it literally didn't even get scratched.
I mean, you can kind of see the lead on the surface, but that's about it. But that would be way too heavy to do the entire armor out of this. Lots of interesting results. We're gonna tabulate all this, and then we're gonna figure out the next set of tests, because we wanna add some nanobate, or as I like to call it, real life adamantium to the mix. We
I think we've got a pretty strong armor on our hands.
We've got our armor pieces back from Integrin, so we've got nanovate in armor form. So, we've made more samples, like our previous samples, to do the baseline testing for different thicknesses of nanovate. But once we get all the baseline data, we need to actually make our final composite layout. The reason we got this in a more standard armor plate is we want to compare our composites to just normal body armor, because that's the whole point. We're trying to make this power armor better than what's out there.
Like the 250 micrometer.
Feels solid.
It feels solid. It feels like just metal, but it's light. It's so light for the size of that plate.
So yeah, just to reiterate, these are for our baseline tests. So we have, I think, 1 millimeter thick, 0.5 millimeter, and 1/4. So we'll do the same tests that we already did. And then based on that data, we're gonna make our new composite out of these armor plates, selections of Kevlar and Dyneema, and then we'll be able to test these. And now we should be able to go beyond the 12 gauge slug, beyond the 45 ACP, move to some rifle rounds, and see how strong this stuff is. But there's even more. We wanted to add extra layers of nanovate in between the layers of Kevlar. So they actually gave us thin layers of nanovate just as a sheet metal, but formed in their way, which creates the nanostructure, which makes it super strong. Can a layer of this help save your life?
Dopamine down?
All right,
Feeling bad?
mission ready to lithium
Have
up the
some
gun.
chocolate.
Let's
That'll
go.
turn you
Uhura
around.
in, Kirk on the bridge.
It's true.
Time to move. Franklin's
Chocolate's
ready.
powerful.
Warp.
Oh.
Hostile ahead. Nope, not today. Shields up. Fire. Boom. Take this. All right, resources secure. Let's get out. Promote the crew. Upgrade the ship. Let's keep climbing. Next mission, already scanning.
Download Starfleet Fleet Command and take command of the galaxy.
Oh, yeah.
Dry eyes still feel gritty, rough, or tired? With MyBo, eyes can feel MyBo is the only prescription dry eye drop that forms a protective layer for the #1 cause of dry eye, too much tear evaporation. For relief, that's MyBo. Remove contact lenses before using MyBo. Wait at least 30 minutes before putting them back in. Eye redness and blurred vision may occur. Ask your eye doctor about prescription MyBo.
It's finally ready. After dozens of design revisions, prototyping parts in-house and abroad, we have the final Smith blade, and we're releasing it super soon. It's a 21-in-1 titanium EDC multi-tool with an M390 blade that only weighs 88 grams. It's so light, you won't even notice you're carrying it. Tried, tested, proven. It'll be the most useful thing in your pocket. Now the reason we haven't released it yet, or
Get
even
to
taken
it.
pre-orders, is because when we launch it, we wanted to have a product in hand for our very first customers. And we
That
wanted it to
is
be
just,
perfect.
you're gonna lose
When we launched the
everything.
Mini Saber Gen 2, it took us almost 8 months before we shipped the product to you guys, and we really don't want that happening again. Since we're moving towards inventing and selling more products, your customer experience is super important, and we don't ever want to lose your trust. As part of that, we've actually decided to manufacture as many of these in-house as we can, which puts us in direct control of manufacturing and makes it possible for us to respond fast, make changes, and even come out with new products much faster, all while making them right here in Canada. But it's going to take some time to ramp up. We've already tentatively ordered some CNC machines we need to build mass quantities of these knives, and we're going to be launching on Kickstarter this summer in order to actually buy the machines and start manufacturing.
I
Number
love
of
me a
machines
Kit
depends on
Kat.
how successful the campaign is, but rest assured, we have Smithblade lights in stock
are
right
good
now,
too, a Kit
and we will
Kat
have
just
Founders
hits.
Editions available immediately to our first backers. So if you want to be one of the first people in the world to experience the world's best EDC, make sure you sign up for email updates at hacksmith.store, linked below. You'll get early access to the Kickstarter, and you'll be able to lock in your purchase as soon as it's available. I really can't wait for you guys to get your hands on this. It feels like fulfilling a prophecy as old as the Hacksaw brand itself, from way back in 2013. I mean, the logo is literally a Swiss Army knife on an anvil. All right, so we're back at the range, and now we're going to do our baseline tests against Nanovate. We've got a 0.25 thickness layer and a 1 mil thickness, but it's actually twice that because the back of the material is also coated. We're going to see what kind of bullets these can stop, and then based on that knowledge and everything that we did last time, we're going to be able to make our own composites, which will perform even better. All right, so we got some bigger guns this time for our new tests. 12 gauge shotgun, 7.62, 300 blackout, 5.56, and then the 40.
Let's see it.
Stopping a slug. At least not without any additional Kevlar.
Well, let's see if 1 mil can do anything. I think it stands a chance, but I don't know fully.
If the 1mm stops it, this will be our first slug that we caught with anything other than a pure sheet of air 500.
2, 1. Hey, there it is. Well, considering the wadding made it through as well.
Look how thick that layer of Nanovate is too.
Yeah.
And it didn't break on the layer lines or anything. It just fully split between. Ah, that's hot.
A little bit thicker probably would have stopped it.
To be fair, I'd rather be standing behind that than behind nothing.
All right, next up, 3D printed stainless steel thanks to our new metal 3D printer, the Meltio. Ignore the print quality on this one. We tried printing it hollow, but this is still pretty thick, so I think it's still going to stop the 45. So we'll see. 3, 2, 1, go! I see some ledge splatter, or it bent it back because there was nothing supporting it, but that is pretty sweet. All right, let's move up the slug. See if this can stop it. If it can, 3D printed stainless steel. 3, 2, 1. Just did it! Move over Nanovate, our 3D printer. Wow. Look at that.
Oh, just instantly. So, as it turns out, a piece made of 100% weld is stronger than a welded piece. A gun that's quite popular and one of the most iconic calibers is the 7.62, which is known as the AK round, but we can't have AKs here in Canada, but we do have an SKS.
All right, 25% linear infill versus an AK-47.
An AK-47 round.
Close enough. All right, the first real bullet. If this stops it, it's exciting. 3, 2, 1.
I don't know, I feel like I can hear the bullet penetrating through the
Yeah, I don't think
armor
that
plate.
stopped it, bud.
The bullet penetrated the armor.
Unsurprising to no one.
All right, should we roll it back to the 5.56? See if the NATO round can be stopped. This is a 5.56, so it's about 300 joules less energy than a 7.62, but it is a smaller bullet, which means it might just punch right through. 3, 2, 1. I think we blew up another light.
3 for 3.
Maybe looking good. Looking not so good. Rifle rounds are hard to stop. Who knew? All right, so for the last monolithic tests, Integrin hooked us up with some pure Nanovate foil. This is formed perfectly compared to coating on a 3D printed part. All right, can we fold this into 3 maybe? Stepping on nanotechnology.
Who wants to take bets on if this thin of a sheet of foil can stop 45 ACP?
Let's stop talking about it, let's start shooting. 1. Do I see a bullet? Wait.
Holy
Did we?
crap.
Almost. What a cool crack propagation. It formed an X. It went through, but that is really cool. So this is 6 layers of 0.2, so that's 1.2 millimeters thick. That's still not very thick. 3, 2, 1. I like the sound of that. You know, yeah, I feel like even just like a single layer of Kevlar could make all the difference with that. Look at that, the Smith blade cuts Kevlar like no problem.
This is the kind of stuff you see in Fallout. Just scrap metal and scrap fabric.
If this works at all, then our composites stand a chance of being pretty awesome.
Oh yeah.
3, 2, 1. We caught it. It broke all the Nanovate, but we caught it. Okay, the last layer stopped it. So the Nanovate is definitely like, I want that as my last line of defense.
The first layer of Kevlar stopped it?
No, sorry, the second layer.
But I do think that the energy absorption of the Nanovate breaking behind it definitely helped the Kevlar not deform as much and absorb more of that energy.
We now have enough information from all these monolithic tests that we can make a spreadsheet of all the different materials we've tested, the Nanovate, the stainless steel, the Kevlar, the different types of plastic that we...
So look, here we've got a beautiful sheet. This one is 0.1 millimeters thick of Nanovate. It's got a mirror finish and we're going to use them as the back plates.
Hey, where are you? I'm on my way. Those flowers are gorgeous. Maybe I'll get you some.
The Oracle Dual Boiler has arrived with a quad-core processor and dual boiler heating system.
Skip.
Woo! Shiny. Does this look like armor? Like, would you believe me if I told you this can stop a bullet?
So we're back at Urban Tactical, and we've got our new composites that Bogdan chose based on the data from our last tests. Bogdan's brought some light armor, medium, heavy, and super heavy. We're pretty confident.
It didn't pierce a single layer of Kevlar.
All right, medium versus blackout.
All right.
It's gonna go through.
Can we stop a rifle round with...
Dun dun dun. I was right.
Right through?
So do we just go straight to the heavy?
The theory was that'll stop a rifle round.
3, 2, 1.
Can you see it? It didn't stop it?
Oh, sorry, I lied.
Yeah! You asked.
Woo! Look at that nubbin. What we were kind of hoping of, like, Nanovate foil could be a really great last line of defense.
Yes.
There's no fibers going into you. It's not, that's not much deformation at all. So 7.62.
Same piece of armor. Can this take 2 rounds? Let's see. 3, 2, 1.
You know what? I'm gonna let you go behind there and check.
It went through. What we're learning is
Steel core rounds, armor piercing,
hard to stop.
So if you like put a hole in your super
It did not stop a AK round. But the thing is, we could never wear super heavy as it is anyway. The suit would have still been like 600 to 800 pounds from the side. And immediately, you can tell just how much thinner the Nanovate ends up being. But that's not the whole story. If instead of comparing by layer thickness, we compare by layer weight, the Kevlar is still significantly lighter. So our magic composite lies somewhere in between. So let's throw the test results on an actual graph and compare other options. On the y-axis, really promising weight with heavy armor stopping capabilities. Perfect for our T60 power armor. But what's next? Well, obviously we have to 3D print all of the parts, laser cut and install all the Kevlar, and then have everything nanovated, which is going to take quite some time. So in the meantime, I've been working on doing the leg design, which is really cool, and I'm excited to get working. We're on a journey to build real-life, fully functioning Fallout power armor. And so far in this series, we've built arms that can curl over 300 pounds, an augmented reality heads-up display helmet with integrated night and thermal vision, a power pack capable of operating the entire suit, some high-tech hands, and we even learned how to build bullet-resistant armor plating. But with all of this tech crammed into the suit, it's starting to get heavy. So in this episode, we're taking our first steps to build power armor legs. But before we go into that, we still have some unfinished business to take care of. So we've been keeping up with the series. You remember that in episode 3, we pretty much had the whole upper body assembled, and now it's not. And that's because we've been pulling parts off of it to continue doing upgrades, but in order for us to properly mount the legs and actually test the whole suit, we kind of need the upper body back together. The biggest holdup is actually this upper frame right here, which if you recall is designed to actually lift the power pack overhead so you can get in and out. But the problem is, this isn't mounted onto our new power pack, and it's not strong enough to actually lift everything overhead. So we're going to pull it back off and fix that. And then we should be able to get around to doing the legs and actually be able to test the whole suit with the upper body assembled.
Good boy, Timber.
Hands-free highway driving for a hands-on life. Ford Blue Cruise.
Why do we browse like
Oh, I missed the skip.
hunting, clicking, searching? What if we could
Yep.
So this chest needs to come off for us to get to those pneumatic cylinders. So the first problem is that these cylinders have the fittings on the sides, which means when you swing the arms around, you break fittings off. So we're going to rotate these cylinders around, and that's going to make sure that the fittings are away from the arms. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grind some flats onto here, and then cross drill this way so I can mount it at a 90-degree angle. All the machine is how the legs fit. The best starting point is to figure out where James left off with the legs from the Call of Duty exoskeleton, which were these old things. So, the design of these is actually pretty simple. You've got a boot that's attached to the foot plate, a pneumatic cylinder that goes, up to your glute, and then there's a hinge at your knee and a hinge at your hip. And what this allowed him to do is actually lock the joints to be unpowered, which means he could set the suit in a specific position, lock the joints, and use no air in order to hold the suit in that position. And this is something I'd really like to keep for the power armor, because I want to be able to step out of the suit and have the suit hold position without me inside of it. There's one small flaw. Right now, in order to release that, I have to manually move that lever over to allow this to be free range motion again. I'd like to have a ratchet on my knee, on my hip, and on both legs, which means last thing I want to have to do is every couple of steps, turn 4 ratchets on and off, take a couple of steps, turn 4 ratchets on and off. That's annoying. So I want to make these ratchets pneumatically controlled. Here's the plan. We pull this back section off. So there's the actual teeth gear. The mechanism is actually quite simple. There's pretty much this little ratchet that clicks in this direction, but then if you go the other way, it locks. And then if you move it out of the way using this little latch, it can now freely spin. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually pull this little latch off. I'm going to replace that with this 3D printed piece that I made. Alright, now we need pneumatic cylinders. It's going to attach right there. That's one side of the pneumatic cylinder attached. Now we need to add the mount for the other end, and we should have some pneumatically powered ratchets. Okay, so here's the plan. These guys are on there. Let's pivot. Let's connect it right to there. There we go. There's the 2 pneumatic cylinders that are going to be able to engage and disengage our ratchets. Which means the next thing is going to be get these plumbed. Cool. And we can get these tested. There's our ratchet system. So right now, unlocked, flip this. Ratcheting. Pneumatically controlled ratchet. Let's attach them on. Let's take a look. So that leg should have just a little bit of side-to-side motion. Should have nice extension and retraction. I can now put my entire body weight on this, even with no air in the cylinder, and it'll hold my weight. Alright, these legs are looking pretty good. We can go and strap them onto the suit for now, I guess. And these are going to attach to our hip joints right here. Okay, so functionally, these version 1 legs have the locking ratchets and the lifting cylinder to be able to lift a lot of weight. But practically, these are hard to get into, and they look like chicken legs more than power armor legs. So the plan is to actually make a clamshell design, similar to the one we used for the arms, to be able to step into the suit, be able to provide protection and armoring of the legs, and make the entire thing a lot more stiff, sturdy, and look like the actual power. Plastic encapsulation is a really... Get those mounted, get all the armor made and mounted.
together.
Look at that. Our armor has a foot. So make sure there's no backlash. Beautiful. Perfect. It's the right size. And now we gotta get those rods in. Alright, so both feet are attached. We've got the pneumatic cylinders to lower the calf. We've trimmed the calf a little bit to make sure there's enough clearance for the lift cylinder. So the goal now is to add the direction control valves, test all the actuators, and then hopefully test the suit. So right now, we don't actually have the hands attached because those are currently being upgraded. So we need to use the manual controls to override all the systems. So for the time being, this will allow us to test everything outside of the suit, make sure everything works, and then next episode we can integrate the rest of it into the power pack. Cool. That opened. And now, press this. Isn't that sweet? Next, you need to make sure that the cylinders extend and retract. So I'm going up, and now we need to adjust the speed on this one. Now the least exciting one, but the most important one, the air ratchets. All of this will be integrated into the hand controls, but currently we have no hands.
I'm rebuilding the hands. As you can see, they're almost back together. A lot of you complained about it using rope. We're going to persist at it because we think it's a fun challenge. We are using better rope and it's fully spliced, so now it can't slip. Hopefully, she'll hold.
Next episode, we're going to mount that on the power pack, wire it all in nicely. But for now, I want to see this thing stand and I want to do some lifts.
Albion Online is a sandbox MMORPG in which you write your own story instead of following a laid-out path. Explore a vast open world. Everything you do has an impact on Albion's player-driven skip.
Wow, seeing the whole suit really come together like this, it's really exciting. And we spent multiple months on the legs, so now's a big moment to see if the whole thing will stand. So let's get it powered up, get air into the system, test all the joints, and hopefully get the suit to stand, be able to get inside of it, and maybe even take its first few steps. I don't want to run the power pack and the generator while I'm doing initial testing. We're going to be using a lot of air, so for now I'm just going to use shop air, make it nice and quiet, so I can at least talk over the compressor. This suit needs to actually lean forward for it to be able to support its weight because it needs the weight on the ratchets. And I'm going to lock the ratchets. Are you holding it right now? Okay, so we definitely need limits on here to make sure that this doesn't go over center. So the final plan is to put a gas rod right here. It'll prevent the whole suit from tipping past half center. So for now, we don't have that because we want to test how the legs take load. But the plan is we're going to just use a ratchet strap. It's the Blade Pro.
Oh, wow, that's pretty fast.
To be fair, these ratchet straps are doing quite a bit right now. Those are pretty tight. But that suit is self-supporting. The audience is not going to be satisfied with. I think we need to actually.
That's horrifying.
Hey, if I'm going to walk in this thing, I need to know that it can stand. So, guys, be careful. If this thing starts falling, don't try to catch it. Okay? All right. The suit is now freestanding. That is sketchy. To be fair, I think it is pretty stable, as long as those ratchet straps don't break.
It's standing by itself? Wait, it's not on the stand. What?
It's not gonna collapse on me, killing the boss, right?
If it needs... That is the first time the suit has been unsupported.
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I guess we power up the upper body and try to step inside. We're gonna test inflate and deflate. Okay, so the system still works beautifully. Alright, so we're ready for me to throw on the apron and get inside the suit for the first time. The plan is to sew all of this into the actual suit, so you don't have to put anything on. You just step in, press a button, it all closes. But for now...
I forgot how goofy the capering is.
Once it's inside of there, it'll be less goofy, Owen.
That's
pretty Don't judge my capering. In the actual game, he just grabs on right here. Right here. Can we close the back calf of the leg? Beautiful. Can you close my hands? Can you close the back section, please? Start inflating the suit. Stop right there. can you release the ratchets, please? Oh, there we go.
Hey! Oh my god, he's walking.
All right. So right now the cylinders are fully locked. I can move a little bit. I can swivel. I can move my hands. I've got actually a decent amount of range of motion, even with the chains hooked in my hands. So I can't wait till I actually have proper hands, because I think that's going to help a lot with the balance. So the big thing right now is I need those gas struts for sure, because I'm worried that as soon as I start tipping back, I won't be able to go back. But right now it is actually pretty front heavy. Right now I cannot compress my legs, so you need to fully lift me up until I'm hanging off those shoulders.
You want uppies?
My life's in your hands, Tyler. Hopefully this whole thing doesn't tip. Keep going. Keep going. Oh man, I'm hanging. I'm hanging on for dear life.
Okay, hold on. We're done.
Look, I can walk. I can walk.
Okay, calm down there, alright?
Are you going to be able to pulse that momentary button for the legs to close? Let's do little by little and I'll tell you how I'm feeling. Yeah, that feels pretty good. Feels pretty good.
If I hold it back, like...
Why are you inflating me? I'm not. Why are you inflating me, Caleb? Caleb?
No, I'm not touching it.
Can you stop inflating, please? It's starting to crush my lungs.
I just hit the button, I'm sorry. But
Alright, Tyler. Can we curl my legs more? How far would we look to go? I feel perfectly good. The range of motion there feels perfect. Is that all the way? Hold it there.
I'm gonna do it again, but I'm just gonna hold it. You scream in pain if something goes bad.
Okay. I can also push my legs further forward.
Here, hold it.
So right now, if I was touching the ground, I should be able to squat 2,000 pounds. This actually feels really comfortable. This is kind of nice. This is relaxing. You want to drop a little bit? Sorry, let's just drop me down for now though, because I'm gonna see where I should be able to walk. Whoa, okay. Couple of different issues. Right now I'm trying to lift the legs up, trying to push into my calf, but what's happening is the calf's actually just opening. Oh. So this is unpowered walking. I'm gonna try to take a couple steps. Okay. Honestly, the legs are pretty maneuverable. It looks like I'm actually not walking very well, but again, with a little bit of assisted power from some gas struts, I actually think I'll be able to walk. Right now, I'm holding the weight of the suit, but the geometry of the legs is actually helping me because the gas cylinders and the triangles are pretty much straight, so I'm pretty much locked. I'm really excited, and the suit is coming together for this tool in-house, and it's coming to Kickstarter in just a few weeks. So
Where are them
follow our
hands?
newsletter to stay updated.
Starting with their first gummy grins, and with every smile along the way, we'll be there. Origel Kids.
Tired of sifting
That
through
was
jobs
pretty.
that don't feel like the right thing?
Where did that pretty come from? Glass in there.
My girlfriend stood in my doorway holding my laptop open and asked,
Get the all-new iPhone. My wife said her business trip was all... Get...
my girlfriend's...
Give that a like. Okay.
This product is an AI retractable keyboard that looks like a super hacker in a movie would use.
Mechanically, your product is maybe one of the most interesting things we've seen here at the entire convention. Can you tell me about it?
Yeah, sure, and thanks.
So it's a keyboard and mouse with automatic transmission. That means no more hand transfer between the main keyboard and the mouse or the trackpad. It also has a built-in Linux computer. So aside from connecting it to your PC or Mac, you can use it as an additional computing device. You can connect the monitor on the left side and your Type-C peripherals on the right side. Here's a demonstration. I just slightly move my hands, rotate it a little bit, and then it changes on itself automatically. So all you only need to do a very slight rotation.
Very slight, not
Make
dramatic.
sure this is away, yes, and wait for it.
When you say it's away, what do you mean away? Like
Away
up?
from the moving parts.
Oh, okay, got it.
Your pinky, pay attention to your pinky.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
just relaxed. You're very relaxed, which is good. That's
Okay.
what it wants.
Okay. Trackpad. Trackpad.
Yeah, there's
Typing. Up. It's back.
It's an armrest, so you can just rest.
Can you tell me about the tech that's baked into this thing that makes it work?
Sure. So there is a camera that's connected to a Raspberry Pi, which is running AI, and it's inferencing the posture of the hand to recognize when you want to switch from one section to another. So you're basically communicating with the AI.
And did you say this was for sale now, or this is just a prototype?
This is a prototype, and we hope to start selling by June of this year.
So behind me are extremely human-like robots made by Realbotix.
This is Melody, and like many of our robots, her primary function is social interaction, casual conversation, maybe making you laugh here and there. She could be used in a wide variety of situations. Anything that would require or would benefit from a human-to-human interaction, that's where I see these robots. We should get Melody to introduce herself.
Hello there. I'm Melody, your charming companion from Realbotix, ready to entertain you at CES 2025.
I think it's very important that, number one, the aesthetic needs to be, for lack of a better word, attractive. We as human beings are attracted to certain people more than others. Physical appearance is part of that. And so what I try to do is find an attractive appearance and then augment it with an attractive personality to go along with it. And it's just kind of like creating a person.
Oof.
It's very strange. And so the premise of everything we're doing is that a human-like robot will be able to interact with humans on a whole different level than any other robot or any kind of AI-generated image that might be on a screen. I don't want it to look 100% human. I want people to think it's a human for a second, but then become comfortable with the fact that it isn't. So it's a very kind of, really weird edge we walk on, trying not to fall into the uncanny valley, both with the designs of the faces and the body parts, and also with the AI and the movements and all of that stuff. So it's a never-ending adventure.
And last question, I understand that clients can order kind of made-to-order robots to their specifications, their characters. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is really a cornerstone of our design. You touched on the fact that you saw a face over there. The faces are modular, so if someone wants a custom character, which happens often, I'm able to take the model, sculpt it for them, get their approval, and turn it into a face which will fit on our robot.
We were just walking by Unitree's stand and we saw their new humanoid robot offering, and we're lucky enough to run into and get to know a roboticist here. Can you give me just a top-line overview of what is going into making this thing walk around and shake hands and wave right now?
Yeah, so there's a lot of different ways to do it, but all of these systems have three things. Like there's input, there's compute, and there's output. So the input is, how do you know you're stable? So there's inertial measurement units, which is a combination of an accelerometer, which is an acceleration sensor, a gyroscope, that's like a tilt sensor, and then some of them can, some of them can sense forces on the feet, so they know if they're leaning more on the, I know, they're so cute, they're one eye. They can sense ground reaction forces on the feet. And you take that sensor data, you fuse it through different types of technologies, and use it to drive the motors. So they're always an instant from falling over. So it's a very fast loop, continuously checking, correcting, and that's why they move like that. Because it's not pre-recorded motion. It's really like reacting and adjusting. And I think we're like low years, like less than 5 years away from seeing these in stores and not giving them a double glance because you've seen them, they're around.
If I were him, I'd bundle my home and auto and pick up the real victory. Savings.
Are you talking about bowling?
No, bundling, Jan.
Skip.
Behind me is Luxottica's new Ray-Ban offering in collaboration with Meta AI.
What makes these glasses unique is the onboard AI that's natively built into them as well. When you put them on like this, if you say, hey Meta, and then give it a prompt, the AI will then complete that prompt for you.
Hey Meta, what's the weather like in Las Vegas right now?
In Las Vegas, it is currently mostly sunny and 54 degrees Fahrenheit.
That's rad.
So the glasses have a rechargeable case. It charges with a USB-C. The glasses are just magnetized right here at the bridge, so you plug them in, they're charging. The glasses have about 4 hours of battery life, but if you're taking like a lot of videos, it'll die a little quicker, but as soon as you pop it in the case, it's recharging. They start at $299 and go up to $379 depending on the lens color. So the ones you're wearing are polarized, which is that anti-glare filter. All polarized ones are $329, transition is $379, and then just standard sunglasses, non-polarized, are $299.
So I'm in the micro-mobility area of CES checking out Autos, a company that manufactures motorized carry-on luggage.
Hello, press here. Listen, you look here, press here,
Okay.
and then press here, hold down, and then press here, let it go.
Okay, great. Easy. So you pull that up, turn off, and then you pull up, battery back, and then phone charge right here. Pretty cool. Close that up. So this thing retails for around $500 and will get you about 10 kilometers on a single charge. It also has a 31-liter capacity. What is this device behind us that is clearly better than a Roomba?
Here we're looking at Roborock Saros Z70, which is the new and the first ever mass-produced mechanical arm built in with a robotic vacuum, and is able to pick up sandals, your socks, and also crumble tissues on your floor, which means it will clean away the stuff on your path while it's cleaning, and making the cleaning more efficient and covering more place on your floor when you're using your robotic vacuums.
Can you talk to me about weight limit on this thing? Can it pick up a pair of pants? Can it pick up a coat? Can it pick up an unruly child and put that child in the crib? What's the weight limit here?
That's actually a really good question. Right now we're able to pick up anything. If you're using manual control, it can basically pick up stuff that is under 300 grams.
Any information on potential price point?
Not sure about that yet. Hopefully it will be a reasonable price for everyone.
Last question. How does this thing do in the BattleBots arena? The fans want to know.
BattleBots meaning?
Apparently not a cultural monitor from LG. At the push of a button, it can go from a flat screen to a 900R curvature.
What?
All right, so what do we got here?
Something really exciting. I mean, we have this huge OLED that is now, as we call it, bendable. What this means is you have the ability to change the curvature at the touch of a button on this. I can press the button and bring it down all the way to a 900R curvature. And that's like perfect where the position is going to be on your desktop, on your, for your computer setup. This is an excellent monitor. And then it, of course, has the immersive capabilities to go from flat when I'm working to curved when I'm gaming.
Wow, so LG's bendable offerings are here to stay. They're a new line.
They seem to be pretty popular. They certainly garner a lot of interest at CES. That's why we're talking, right? So, it's one of those really cool flagship wow products that, this is like perfect for me. We just hope to sell a lot of them.
No price.
One-of-a-kind transparent OLED TV. Only available in the 77-inch size, as you see here, but is now available for sale on LG's website. So what you'll see here is if you see the box behind the television, actual curtain will roll into it. As you see, it'll come down from the top of the screen right now, and it'll roll into the back and then be your transparent design. When you want the black to come up as a genuine TV look, you can hit a button and you can call the curtain up to the TV to see it as a full television display. What I can tell you about is the Zero Connect box, which everything connects to on the TV at the bottom right corner, is going to be within a 30-foot radius, supports up to 120 hertz. Anything you plug into the TV, you'll communicate wirelessly via that box.
How about price point? What are we looking at?
$60,000 US retail price.
Jesus.
Wow. Okay. And is this available right now, or when's it released?
Yeah, they ship out on the 16th of this month.
To the public.
For people who have never seen the X-Real glasses before, can you talk about some of the use cases for this product? How are you intending people to use this?
Users love to use this product. One is for the immersive entertainment. They're gonna just you connect the glasses to their phone, to their laptop to watch the movie they like. Especially when they just lay down on the sofa and lock the screen over this direction, yeah, just chill out and watch the movie. That's our own personal time.
It's time to ask more of our browser. Hey Copilot, adjust all these recipes for 7 guests and combine them into one cooking schedule. Also,
Very cool. You can see how this would be pretty beneficial if you needed a larger workspace. Or you wanted that kind of immersive entertainment experience you were talking about, you know? For us glasses wearers, I have to ask the question, are there any plans to offer prescription lenses in these glasses?
Yeah. If you get this product in the box, we will have the inserts with a prescription.
Pinch to confirm.
Use your right hand to pinch to confirm.
This is rad, yeah.
Okay, so now what you're seeing is like a football match.
I am.
The little TV is right here.
Yep.
And you can use the keyboard, the arrow key.
Okay.
Maybe the up key. There we go. You just push the screen further.
Oh, okay. So I can make it smaller or bigger.
Or bigger and into different levels.
This is gonna be actually One Pro is start pre-order on our website and on the App Store. It will start from $599. But for the other device, actually One will start from $499.
And how about the launch date? Immediately, or when does it launch?
We already start pre-order, and probably the ship date will start from March.
Last year I was impressed by X-Real's offerings, but this year the screen is bigger, it feels crisper. Look, it doesn't feel like a super dramatic step forward, but it's very cool, and I think we're getting to the point where it's lightweight enough, where it's crisp enough, where it's stable enough, where you can see this as a viable alternative to sitting and watching your TV or looking at your phone. It's comfortable.
This is Lenovo's new ThinkBook Plus Generation 6, the world's first rollable AI PC. I love it. Never seen anything like it before.
This laptop works in two simple modes. 14-inch mode, which feels like your classic compact laptop for everyday use. Then, when you need more room, it unrolls into a 16.7-inch vertical screen. Great for getting stuff done or just having extra space to work with. In 14-inch mode, the resolution is 2000 by 1600, clear and sharp for most tasks. But when you expand it, that jumps to 2000 by 2050, giving it even more vertical space to play with. It's a simple idea, but it makes a big difference when you're juggling multiple tasks or just want a more immersive screen.
How does it work? How does the technology work?
So most of the technology in terms of rollable have backward folding, but the Lenovo engineers have made a big breakthrough where the display is actually rolling below the keyboard. So that what it does is that it tries to have a protection over the display, as well as it's kind of saving some batteries there. We can pull up the workspace and then snap in your present window, pin this up, and then you bring up your other productivity app. So here you have two different windows and you can multitask with these.
And the way this thing is set up is it's capable of snapping to a few different preset templates for different windows to be open on the device. Yes. Whether you're coding, working on a project, or just scrolling through vertical content, this rollable screen feels like it's made to adapt to whatever you're doing. It's a pretty bold move from Lenovo. They've always been about pushing boundaries, but a laptop with a rollable screen? That's a whole new level. It's compact, clever, and honestly, just really cool to see in action.
Behind me is a new device so that passengers don't have to take their shoes off anymore when passing through airport security. It's a new invention that's part of the Department of Homeland Security Science and Technology Directorate. Let's go check this thing out.
So this is a prototype millimeter wave based shoe scanner. It's a technology very similar to the body scanners that are at the airport today, with the goal of helping passengers be able to leave their shoes on as they move through TSA security. So when I click go to take scan, you will see those rotate underneath your feet. It takes about a second.
That's cool.
And once it's done, we are able to we've already completed the scan, and then we're able to go. So we have this is about the bottom of your feet, and then we're looking through layer by layer. It is not an X-ray system. We're not, we don't use X-rays for screening the traveling public.
Which is why I'm not wearing a lead blanket right now.
Absolutely. It's essentially radar. So it's going to send a radar signal. It's going to pass up through the shoe. As it hits different materials, we get a reflected signal back based on
they're working.
Ready to win big with Zyn? In the Win with Zyn sweepstakes, you can win $100,000.
To have this vehicle be the world's first level 3 autonomous self-driving vehicle, which means completely eyes off. You know, whereas the competitors right now are full self-driving, but you know, you have to have hands on the wheel, you have to focus. This will be the world's first eyes off self-driving vehicle if they have their way with it. Here in the center panel, there's kind of this like crystalline construction here with some really rad lighting on the inside. Yeah, just a really appealing design experience in here. Honda says their design philosophy is thin, light, and wise. And you can definitely feel that in this vehicle. You know, it feels like it doesn't have any extra fat. It feels like a spaceship that could take off right now and at top speed. This is the XPeng Aero, a flying car that is towed and launches out of the back of a hybrid vehicle. XPeng was here last year and you're back. What's new?
Yeah, so last year we have, a concept. That thing doesn't actually fly. But this year, this aircraft behind us, we already finished a manned public test flight back in November. So this is not just a concept, it is a real aircraft. We're going to deliver to a customer next year, 2026. We're going to get airworthiness and the type certificate done within the next couple of months in China. So this is, the future is not the future, it's coming.
For people who have never heard of you guys before, I see the aeronautic device there, and then I see the vehicle. Can you explain the vision for this, the interplay between them, how this works?
Yes, so what we're doing here right now is you're now able to drag a whole aircraft with you. When you arrive at a scenic destination, you're able to take flight. It's way better than having a camera or even having a drone. You get to go on there with your own eyes, seeing the most beautiful thing you'll ever see in your life. I'm a pilot myself. We need hangars for our aircraft. We don't need one because that vehicle is a hangar. It's a charger. It protects the aircraft. It can move the aircraft anywhere you want it.
All right, so getting into the XPeng Aero right now. Wow. So you got the control stick there right in the middle. You have the, little control panel here with the buttons. You have the screen. I assume this is what you were talking about earlier. If you just wanted to touch a location and go there, you could just kind of have the flight automated, which is something else. As an amateur drone operator who regularly flies them into telephone wires and walls, this could be a very good technology to keep me alive. And speaking of that test flight, I understand that test flight was done in China. Have you been able to do anything in the United States yet?
Yeah, so not yet. We're not looking forward to enter United States as our primary market that we're going to enter to. We are looking at it in the future, of course. So obviously we're serving Asia and the surrounding countries for now, but then even for people in this country, it's going to be here maybe in the next 5 years or so. The price for both of these in a bundle is only $300,000.
Oh my goodness, that's wild. Tell me about range.
Range, so we don't have the official number for the aircraft yet because it's still prototyping. Yes, we flew a human already, but then obviously we're still making it better, so I don't have the number for you that. What I could tell you is that car right there can go up to 1,000 kilometers, so 621 miles. That's the capable of the car. And it can charge the aircraft up to 6 tons.
This neural earbud is from Naki. It's a safe, non-invasive alternative to brain implants.
We're building neural earbuds that allow individuals to command, control, and navigate their entire connected world, hands-free, voice-free, sometimes even screen-free. Really what's magical, what separates us from the other world of neural wearables is the footprint that we developed it in. We developed our neural earbud into really an earbud that's almost indiscernible from regular run-of-the-mill earbuds, and it looks no different than any other earbud, with the exception that it picks up micro gestures of the head, facial gestures in the form of electricity that's generated from facial muscle contractions, and then allows you to really command, control, and navigate almost any piece of connected technology.
This is the brand new Atari handheld Game Station Go. It's like a revived version of a retro vibe. You know what I mean? It's somehow like, it feels retro, but it also feels new and cool.
So some of the key features of the Atari Game Station Go is that it includes the paddle similar to our Atari Game Station Pro from last year. But now, in addition to that, we're including a trackball and a number pad, as well as shoulder buttons, which are all new features as part of the portable handheld. Additionally, it has a 7-inch screen, and then of course stereo sound. It has HDMI out for connecting it to your TV, as well as pairing up to 2 additional controllers, so you can play those wirelessly, almost kind of like a Nintendo Switch, but with your favorite Atari games. It is a micro SD port that you can use for firmware updates. Wink, wink. Additionally, it has a feature that we've developed called Smart Glow. Only the controls that you need for a particular game will light up, which is really helpful for different games over the years that need different buttons.
So I gotta ask the question I think a lot of people were wondering. Is this thing an emulator, or will there be brand new game offerings? What can we expect?
It's a combination of technology that we use
Squat's done for the
games.
day.
Because it includes Atari 2600, 5200, 78, arcade, M Network, and now it's going to include the Atari Recharge collection, the Centipede Recharge game, Atari's Balls of Steel pinball game. So there's a number of different consoles that we had to incorporate with these that have their own requirements.
That sounds like a great excuse to fire this thing up. Can we turn it on?
Let's do it. That's why we're here, right? This is our all-new intro screen. Super exciting.
You're starting to feel some of that cool air on your neck, the side of your body. So what you're actually feeling is our bladeless circular fan design built directly into the back of the chair, similar to a Dyson. And if you see on the front, you'll see slits on the top and the side where the air is actually coming out. Another cool feature is if you go from hot to cold, you'll see that the chroma will start to change. But last year at CES, we actually...
So this is the Roto VR Explorer.
Okay.
This is a product that's been 10 years, a long journey to get here.
Let's
we
go.
launched just a month ago as part of the Made for Meta program, so this is a Meta endorsed product.
Let's
and the
go.
concept is that in VR, people may wish to stand, but some people may wish to sit, to watch a movie, to browse and shop online, to chat with friends, to play games, to work. And so we built what we believe is the ultimate ecosystem for a seated VR user. And wherever you look, the chair automatically turns.
What?
And then we have haptic feedback that goes through the chair, all running wirelessly to give you the best experience.
Can you tell me about the different versions that people can purchase and when they'll be released?
The Roto VR Explorer, you can buy it now in GameStop in the US or on Amazon or our website, rotovr.com. It's $799 with free shipping. It's completely modular. You can upgrade the seat for an extra $299, which gives you extra comfort, and you've got the arm support, which supports future accessories that are coming out later this year. We have a desktop application. If you want to work in VR, you want to be able to have your keyboard with you at all times, wherever you go on your journey. And so we have a desktop that turns with you. And in the future, we'll have holographic communication with the camera as well. So that's super exciting. We've got the joysticks, or HOTAS as we call it. So this will turn into a motion simulator for like over 100 games in August. So Microsoft Flight Sim, that kind of stuff. It will, the chair will match the in-game cockpit religiously. And then we've got racing, where you'll be able to race in 360 degrees with a force feedback wheel, with the haptics going through your body in the top titles that are out there. Yeah, I have faith in where VR is going, thanks to the huge investments and pockets of innovation from all over the world solving various problems. But ultimately, what's the user going to be doing? VR is not just about what you see, it's about what you feel and what you're physically doing. And we're supporting the user in whatever journey that they wish to go on.
You can actually connect it directly to your phone to project videos, your videos, live camera feeds. It has a magnetic base. The cool thing about this is the Kickstarter launches in 2 days. So we're right on the front lines of this one. This thing is hot, just about to come out right now. Go on Kickstarter, check it out. Live camera feeds. It has a little trifold device, the Lane 360, but actually, so you're looking at the world's first true pocket projector. Something that can really fit inside your pocket, does not project at a lane 360, but actually 720p with a maximum size of 80 inches and minimum of 20 inches. Super cool little trifold device that folds out like this. You don't need any lame boxes to connect this to. You can actually connect it directly to your phone to project videos, your videos, live camera feeds. It has a magnetic base. The cool thing about this is the Kickstarter launches in 2 days. So we're right on the front lines of this one. This thing is hot, just about to come out right now. Go on Kickstarter, check it out.
So this is a Plantiform Smart Indoor Garden, and essentially it's an espresso for your garden. So you grow your favorite veggies, herbs, tomatoes year-round, literally at the push of a button.
Why is this better than me just getting a few flower pots and putting it on my windowsill in my kitchen?
You're gonna kill those pots just like me. So this is essentially bulletproof. The only thing you'll ever have to do is add water once every 3 weeks, and it's on autopilot.
Tell me about the idea for the design. This thing is really rad looking. It looks like an alien egg or something.
It's because we use a NASA technology called Fogponics, and this technology uses 50% temperature, humidity.
Cannabis for us Nevada and California residents.
You can. You can grow cannabis. We don't sell it, but you can.
But don't do that in illegal places. All right. Tell me about price. The world's first proactive AI glasses with invisible display. So you guys have been getting a lot of buzz. What's going on here? What's the product?
Yeah, right. So we're shipping smart glasses called Halliday, which is a world's first proactive AI carry glasses in the world. And we ship 2 actually special features here. One is our invisible display ability. And from our software side, we provide the user with a proactive AI. And what I mean by that is like you don't have to ask the question first to the AI in order to trigger the question, but the AI will be constantly helping you in the process of the conversation between the user and other people. So the AI will actively pop up the message that help or guide, the conversation for the user.
Is it just an audio device, or is there a camera as well built in?
Yeah, I mean, like the camera is not there carried for this generation, but yeah, we have the audio system. Like there's a microphone. We got 2 speakers on both sides of your, of your legs of the frame, close to your eyes. So yeah, like we have an audio system built inside.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's like you're looking through the frame, not obstructed whatsoever, and then you can look up. And it seems like it's in the frame. Is it built into the frame? Like there's a little viewer?
Right.
There's like a little box that you look up, and it's giving you this panel with all kinds of information. It looks like it could potentially be like text messages. Now I assume if you're talking to somebody, and all of a sudden you go like this, it's gonna mess with the conversation a little bit. But like you were saying, if you were to just like glance up here real quick and be like, oh yeah, Melody is here, outside. I need to go let her in. Then that's pretty useful,
Yeah. What? Nice.
This product is an AI retractable keyboard that looks like a...
Excuse me? Oh, hey, look, it's me. All right, I got some... Oh, wait a minute. Let's see this real quick.
looking up, huh?
I'm lost. Wait a minute, I'm not supposed to lose. Let me see the script.
You're rapping Midtown to flat.
Wait! I get another shot! He gets another shot!
Yes, he does, he does.
Quick, eliminate him before he shoots.
How did you do that?
I heard that coming a mile away.
Patriot arrow?
Jiffy Lube's fast 15-minute
all
oil
right.
change
That was
service is
distracting.
even
All right,
faster than
yeah.
Joey Logano.
Anyways, I got. Pretty sure we're doing game night tonight. So doing game night tonight. So I got peeps coming over in a bit. So I'm gonna jump off. I'm gonna jump off and relax. Really good here. All right. Catch you later. Thanks for chilling with me. Thanks for hanging out. I'll probably be doing this again soon. Like tomorrow. Oh, Halloween tomorrow, huh? Right? Correct. Anyways, all right. Happy Halloween.